Welcome to Natural 6.
Yay!
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. No, I mean, yeah, no, it's happening. Welcome to a period of my hair growth that I will go on to describe as its difficult teenage years. Is it working? I'm not sure it's working, but I've committed to it. Thank you. Big shout out as ever to John, my hairdresser. Right.
Our number one fan.
Yeah.
No, that's not even, he just is.
That's not.
But only the podcast version, to my understanding.
Only the podcast version.
Yeah.
He ain't got time to be watching this.
No,
So he's not looking at your hair.
So he's not looking at my hair.
Yeah.
Should we do an ad read for John's hairdresser?
Yeah, I mean, he's a very successful hair. He has quite the following on.
Do it right
on
now,
the ground.
improv, go.
No, save it.
Yeah, no, wait.
I'm floundering.
Yeah. So we are back. This is episode 19. We're approaching the big 2-0. Does the big 2-0 feel like a thing? I don't feel like it particularly does. There's no culture, certainly in this country, around 20 as a thing.
No.
21, this show will legally be an adult around the world.
It's because I think 20 is double the, like, Kickstarter was only to episode 10, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the fact that we'll have then doubled the length of like,
had as many
the
episodes
show. And
off
if
Kickstarter.
you were trying to smile because I had said something about length and doubling,
No,
and
not
like
at
that,
all.
you've got this little smile.
No,
It's gonna make us
I'm just happy to be here. Well, I guess we should say hi to our heroes then, shouldn't we? Go on.
Should we not do it in order? Should we just see if
We
we
do
can
the thing where you know one talks and then one of you does it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait,
Let's say hi to our heroes.
Hi, my name's Alex Jordan, and I'm playing the Kobold Rogue.
Hi, I'm Doug Cockle. I'm playing Kellis, the Dragonborn Druid.
Hi, I'm Hollie, and I'm playing the human fighter, Eloin Grenweird.
Hi, I'm Aoife. I'm playing Dolly de Winter, the Tiefling Bard.
Hi, I'm Ben Starr, and I'm playing Radiant Thornbear, the Wood Elf.
Oh no, because
But you just went last. You always
he
go
always
last.
goes last.
But I
Hi.
Yeah, but you jumped in.
Yeah.
You were adamant he couldn't
you
go.
make it you looked at me and went, I'm going to beat you.
What I did like here was we had to do that, otherwise we just risked basically
going
moving
in
one
order.
along. That was it.
Hi, I'm Aoife Wilson. I play Dolly de Winter, the Tiefling Bard.
Hi.
Oh, we're not doing that.
Who are you?
I'm Harry McEntire. I'm the conjunctions, prepositions, verbs, adverbs, and other words for these proper nouns.
You forgot adjectives.
I said other
Wanker.
words.
An umbrella term.
I'm trying to sort of group it in. Shall we play some Dungeons and Dragons?
That was more chaotic than my felt intro.
Last time. You began in Oratory Square, as the people of Yannick made preparations for their journey to Mouse. Eris gifted Kellis a diamond ring that would allow him to cast Revivify, before she told you of reports that the Fortis Legion, an order of fervent dragonborn warriors, had left the Sanctum and were journeying as far as Vale, the Tiefling capital. Before leaving Yannick, you decided to investigate Iago's rooms. I, the character, not the me, sneaking into what he assumed were the dead gang leader's lodgings and discovering a locked chest which he then lowered inconspicuously from a first-floor window using a length of rope. Once reunited with his companions, I cracked the lock and found Iago's ledger of debts, including a particularly large one owed by Pennick Winter von Ven, as well as a few trick decks of cards. You set off on the road towards the Sanctum, through the wilds of Mab. As you rested on the first night, Dolly, having begun to finally make progress with the book Torian gave her, spoke with Radian about stories and who will write the ending of theirs. Radian thanked her for saving his life, revealing that at first he had felt angry at her intervention. As they spoke, Kellis woke from a troubling dream. He revealed that this anxiety stemmed from the secret the docent told him, that he was being pursued by a figure from his past, a figure he fears meeting. The next morning, the journey continued, the road leading you close to a tributary of the Seraphine River, which just like the main river it fed, was bright blue. As you watched the river flowing west, something appeared above the surface. I used shape water to reveal a bat frog-like creature that flew into the air and attacked. You swiftly bested the creature, with Radian then moving forward to examine it. As he did so, he ran his finger across the body and licked it, realizing that not only could he identify those parts of the bat frog fish that would be suitable to eat, but that he had a memory of standing on the bank of a wide blue river, hunting these creatures. He prepared a pot, and you ate as evening fell. That night, as they slept, Dolly, Kellis, and I dreamt of fields of indescribable colour and blue water, with both I and Kellis also seeing visions of a great tree. The next morning, you reached the city of Vale. Having decided to visit the Tiefling capital before heading north, you entered the city walls that were clad in black flags. You found the place largely deserted, placards written by what appeared to be draconic speakers warning the population to turn towards the light. After searching the empty streets, Dolly led you to a tavern called Sibilance, where you learned from the innkeeper, Chorus, that the Tieflings were all taking part in a mourning ceremony for Alakash and Malakine. As Kellis introduced I to a drink called an Infernal Radical, Dolly and Elowyn headed for the Murmurs, the towers that stand as temples of the gracious. There they found the Tieflings grieving and celebrating with songs and stories as the body of Malakine lay in state. Meanwhile, Kellis was disastrously drunk back at the tavern, Radian supporting him through a particularly violent bout of vomiting. As Dolly and Elowyn returned, you made plans to leave, but not before a quick pitch for Steve Chase's Spoons, Wood and Spoon, the real Wooden Spoon Company. As Kellis, still struggling to master his faculties, went into sales Dragonborn mode, he accidentally dropped the real names of himself and all of his companions. Chorus was immediately on alert, and you made a swift exit, swearing him to secrecy. Elowyn, incensed by the druid's carelessness, was first to head into the twisting streets of Vale, not realising that a group of Dragonborn were pasting a new placard to a nearby wall. She was grabbed in the nick of time, and you all scurried away down a side alley, though Kellis gave away your position with an ill-timed trip. The Dragonborn gave chase, but Dolly obscured the view of your pursuers by casting darkness, and you successfully escaped their clutches. Beyond the city walls, you headed north towards the bridge across the Seam River. As you approached, you realised that the market stalls that normally hum with life beneath the bridge's entryway had fallen silent. After I scoped out the area, you all crept forward to an archway where a body hung from a rope. It was Petra, a placard round her neck declaring the punishment for thievery, and signed by Segavax, gallant of the Fortis Legion, on the orders of Carvilius, right hand of the Sinless. And that's where we are now. And I got through an entire recap without stumbling.
Yes, you did.
19 episodes, baby! That's
You
what
got
a
to see
growth
Frog
mentality mindset does for you.
Frog bat!
So at the moment, you are stood beneath the body of Petra. She's swaying gently in the wind. You can see there's no signs of life in her.
I'd like to take my dagger and try and cut her down.
Okay. I'm going to say, with the help of someone lifting you up, that's a very straightforward thing to do. Kellis gives you a boost, and you manage to support the body and cut at the rope, and you bring her down to the ground.
Just didn't want to leave her up there. I mean, I guess I'll search her. Anything she has on.
Yeah, you can roll me an investigation check.
17.
17. They've left they've left a few things on her. Her coin purse has been taken away, hence the thievery. But you find a couple of what look like smooth black river stones. They don't seem to have any value beyond what you could think might be sentimental value. And you also find tucked into her armor a scarf, like a brightly coloured scarf that is in the same kind of colours as the Poets of Grace. And you would know that when someone declares their intention to become a poet, they take their first scarf. This looks to be quite old. It's kind of worn and faded and sun-bleached.
I'm just gonna put her down gently and maybe take the scarf and just put it in her hands and just be like, sorry, and just leave her there.
Can I do an Arcana check on the stones?
Absolutely, you can. Yeah.
That is the biggest dice.
4.
A 4. These just seem to be stones from a riverbed. You detect no, you can't get a read on them.
I, without knowing what's written on the, but with a kind of rough sense, just picks it up, and I want to take it to the edge of the bridge and throw it over the edge.
And the bridge sits 20 or 30 feet above the level of the river. It's a crevasse through which this river is flowing fast. And you watch as the placard starts to kind of flutter and undulate. And it almost looks for a moment as if it's flying, and then it hits the surface of the water and is lost, like it's fallen into this kind of deep, opaque blue. And you watch for a while, but it doesn't resurface.
Limericks weren't actually that bad. We shouldn't hang around here.
No, I don't think the Sanctum's going to find us. It's not going to particularly welcome us, is it?
No. We're gonna need to prepare for that. We're also gonna need to figure out how we're gonna get there. The Sanctum's an island.
Yep. Yes, it is. And I would say after what we just had in Vale, everyone is going to know that we're nearby.
Yeah. We can get moving now, but I have some ideas.
Then let's talk and walk.
Okay. So you set off across to the western bank of the river. You threw a stone down there, I believe, or you threw something to figure out whether or not there was movement. And just as this side would normally be a hive of activity, so that side would be, and yet when you get there, there's very little movement. Tell me a marching order as you go across this bridge, please.
I'm pretty angry still, so I'm still up front.
Okay, so roll me a perception check, Elowen, as you're the first across the bridge and into the scattered, abandoned tents and sort of small bazaar that...
It's only a 9.
Okay.
Sorry, 8.
An 8. You, it seems to be empty. There's no one here.
God, this place used to have so much going on. So many stalls, so much life. Whatever the Fortis Legion are up to. They scared everyone senseless.
Let's keep moving. It feels weird.
Feels haunted.
My scales are prickling.
Just want to keep
moving.
Keep moving.
Just genuinely just keep moving.
Okay. So you cross the bridge and the road turns north. And it starts to meander through low ground between the eastern edge of Seren, which is the inland sea, and the west bank of the River Seine. And this road, which is known, I would say, by all of you with the exception of I and Radian, kind of as ever, this is known as the Salt Road. And it's a major trading route between the Sanctum. There are two kind of great rivers or bodies of water. One originates in Cova, and then... well, in fact, there are three. There's one that sort of originates near Mount Atria, another that originates in the south near Lake Cova, which you have seen rivers that are fed by that area seem to be bright blue. And then there's other bodies of water that sort of end in the lake at the Sanctum, and that's a lake called Fathom. And this road is the sort of road that connects those two major bodies of water, the Salt Road, and it also passes the inland sea. So roll me a history check for the three of you who would be familiar with this, which is Kellis, Elowen, and Dolly.
11 for me.
11?
6.
6?
13.
13. So I would say, Kel, you've had good reason not to want to particularly head north up the Salt Road. You know where it leads to, and it's not somewhere that you've spent much time trying to get to. If anything, the opposite. And so as you try to recall what you know of this road, your memories of the reality of it are sort of mixed up with your fears and anxieties about where you might be heading. But for Elowyn and Dolly, you recall that this road is normally pretty busy, and that there are plenty of trading posts, there are plenty of taverns. This won't be somewhere where you would expect to go days without seeing anyone. Just as a reference for the journey that you're about to take.
What time is it at the moment?
It would be, that's a very good question. I would say it would be sometime in the late afternoon. You woke, you spent a few hours walking down towards, maybe half a day, walking down to and then being in Vale, and then you've probably gone north maybe an hour or two. So we're talking maybe 3 o'clock. Sun sets at about 6 in the winter, so you have about 3 hours more daylight.
Get as far down as we can get for now, and then maybe stop for a rest.
Yeah, the fact there's nobody's here. I don't like it. Something's really wrong.
Do you think it's all because of the Fortis Legion?
I mean, with what's going on in Vale right now with the mourning, I guess there's no reason to be going to Vale. You're not going to be trading. Nothing was open anyway, but
This
for
feels...
nothing to be here?
Yeah.
No one to be here.
But no one knows this. I think we should stay off the road.
I mean, maybe, but then if there's no one on the road, then there's no one to see us.
But if there is also no one on the road, it is much easier to see us.
I only know the road. I only know this way all the way to the Sanctum.
We can follow the road, but not be on it.
Fine by me. It'll slow us down, but
If that's what you think's best. You seem to know this area, you know?
I prefer not to think about it.
Okay. Well then, let's stay off the road.
So the road here is wide and it is well kept, and you make your way kind of away from it, and you're moving through patches of almost fenland. Sometimes it becomes covered in brown ferns. There's a glistening snow on top of everything. The snow's not falling, and then away to the west is the inland sea, but you're still kind of a long way really from the shore of the inland sea. Are you trying to move stealthily through this terrain, or are you just trying to not be on the road as you march normally?
I guess we're probably just trying to not run into people. Not particularly like tiptoeing, but like if, just stay away from anyone that we
Yeah,
see.
not being particularly careful, but not whacking trees as we walk along.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Right.
you can't see eye.
No, I've got...
it's just
I have
like
a little-
two ears.
he's
Like,
too
looking.
He doesn't rise above the ferns.
So you walk for a couple of hours, and as the light starts to fade, you see on the road torches, and you see exactly what you would expect to see on the Salt Road. It seems that if what you're looking at now is anything to judge by, the area around the bridge was an anomaly, and the Salt Road continues to function in the way that it was. It seems to still have traders. You can hear, as the sun starts to set and these torches are lit, that the prices of the goods are getting cheaper, the prices of the perishables are getting cheaper. You hear particularly things like fish prices being shouted and going really, really low really quick.
Oh man, I could do with some fish.
Well, we do need to make camp at some point tonight.
You never know what you might hear as well. Figure out what's going on.
Let's go.
Okay. So the 5 of you pick your way through, unless anyone wants to not go to the road. The 5 of you pick your way through the undergrowth, and you get your way back to the road, and you head up, and there are traders on all sides. There seem to be a real mix of people here. You can immediately pick out that there are more Dragonborn here than there would be in other areas, but only because dragonborn are really quite rare to see. So the fact that you see maybe half a dozen immediately becomes noteworthy. What are you looking for?
I guess, like, I'm just going to wander up to where was selling fish. And I'm just going to just be kind of, like, looking around. Just like, any unusual catches recently?
There is an orc with a wide-brimmed hat and sort of dark brown skin, who has this big wooden table in front of them, and a little bit like you saw back in Baroon, sort of shallow stone and some wooden, they almost look like baths or basins that have been filled with water and filled with snow, with fish that are probably asleep. Either asleep or dead, but certainly in a state where they're not going to go bad. And looks at you and says, "What sort of thing do you mean?"
Don't know. Just I've been hearing rumors that like someone caught something that they'd never seen before, and I was just wondering if that's like something that's been happening down this part.
Something that looks like a frog, but it's not. It's a fish. Fish frog.
I know exactly what you mean. This orc sort of considers, scratches at the side of her face with a claw. No, nothing like that in Seren. I don't know.
Just the usual stuff then.
Wow. And she gestures to sort of what you recognise the voice, and this is someone who has been calling out very cheap prices for this fish. Well, just the sort of quality you'd come to expect from Mac.
Oh, well.
Can I try and get a look in and see what colour the water?
You absolutely can.
Is.
I won't even make you. It's clear. This is clear water. Do you want to touch the water, or do you just want to kind of look at it?
I just want to look at it.
Shape.
I want to raise the fish. Where did you get your water?
Seren.
Has you seen many blue waters?
Oh. You're talking about the Seraphine. You're talking about the rivers. Well, Seren is a law unto itself, you see. It ain't water like any other water we get here, and, well, we like to think of ourselves as slightly higher quality than what you might find elsewhere. I can't speak to river fishing. Not done it since I was a child. No, these come from the ocean that stretches to the edge of the world.
What do you know of that water?
Which one? Be more specific in your question.
Tell me in as many words. Tell me if it's ocean. No, Seren, you say the water's different.
Yeah. Goes on forever.
Are you one of those flat earthers?
That you would know that is a thing here. That there are certain schools of thought within the fishing community. Seren is constantly wreathed in mist, and there are some who say it actually does go on forever, but some people just keep hitting the wrong bit. When they get to the shore, they've gone in the wrong direction. Roll me an insight on whether or not you get the vibe that Mac is one of these.
It's 16.
16. Mac looks a little offended. I will retcon it and say the term that you use is endless oceaners, which is what they're known as rather than flat earthers. You spend much time on the water yourself, have you?
No.
You ever been through the mists at dawn?
No.
You ever passed alone and felt like you really were?
Only on the odd morning.
Until you've sat in the stern of my vessel and you've seen those mists go on forever, you don't know what you're talking about, my scaly friend.
My eyes roll so far back into my head, and I've wandered off at this point. I hate the blue water. I hate that we're obsessed with it. I hate we're having this conversation. I'm off.
Radian leans in.
Go on.
Mac gestures at the fish in front of her. And she says, "What do you see about those?"
They look like fish.
You ever seen fish like those in the rivers of this land? Roll me history with advantage.
That was cocked, but
I mean,
it was cocked, but it was a natural 20.
A natural 20. Okay. The fish are different. The fish look, they look like sea fish rather than river fish.
These look like sea fish
literally.
rather than river fish.
And she says, "And what to the quality of the water that these fish swim in?" And she dunks her finger into one of these tubs of water
Okay.
and licks it.
And Radiant kind of misjudges that and does the same.
With her finger? or do you
Puts his tongue out and goes, "Let me taste.
roll me a persuasion check?
Let me taste your finger." Oh no.
I never know if that means you're going to have to do it or not.
It's an 8.
It's an 8. Well,
Give me your finger.
I'd rather you tasted your own.
I just leans in, boom, and holds it up to Radiant.
So I dunks his finger in the water and holds it out to Radiant.
Mm-hmm. And keeps eye contact. And tastes the water.
Kel's just watching Radiant with a quizzical look on his face, like,
Thank you, Eye.
It's salty. It's salt water. It tastes like sea water. You don't know whether that's because I has a particularly salty finger, but it doesn't taste like river water.
where's your finger been?
If I'm being completely honest, I have no idea where this is going.
It's salt water. Salt water is not water from the rivers. Salt water is not water from a lake or a reservoir. Salt water comes from the sea, from the ocean. How can you have an ocean with an end? Not fed by any rivers. Now where does it come from? It comes from itself. You sail far enough west, you'll sail past the Alanites and all the way back around.
The Alanites are impassable. There's nothing beyond them.
Ah, that's what you think. I know those who've seen it.
What have they seen?
Mists.
Yeah, we've all seen mist.
Can't see anything in the mist.
Well, you can see that you've not hit the edge.
You're talking about a self-perpetuating ocean.
Roll.
No, let's double down.
Roll me persuasion.
She's already walked off.
Oh no, I
It's
wasn't
like the
joking.
jailbreak all over
Yeah,
again.
no,
Actually,
no.
I'm not useful here.
She's not here. She's not here
I
for an
can't
entire
help.
episode.
I can't help. I'm leaving.
It's a dirty one.
A dirty one.
Oh,
A
We're
dirty one.
backwards.
I'm gonna say with a 1, a dirty 1. So you have a -1, so it's a 2 with a -1. She's actually gonna lean into you, and she's gonna put her hand in not a threatening way, but not an unthreatening way, on your cloak, and she's just gonna grip it, and she's gonna say, "You know nothing of the mists with your fancy words, boy."
Okay, I'll have 2 fish, please.
And she immediately drops and goes, "Certainly." What takes your fancy?
Enough to feed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us.
2 big ones.
2 good ones, yeah. Good.
Two big, two good,
Your
two
finest 2
big
fish.
Well.
Di's also going to lean in and be like, how far is it to sea scale?
2 days, a couple of days.
4 fish then.
Oh, these will keep tremendously well. She says it a bit loud.
Yeah.
Can we take some of your self-perpetuating ocean with us to keep them fresh?
Oh, you're a briner, are you?
Oh, yeah.
I do like a briner. I'm coming round to the idea of you.
Can I shape water and just freeze? freeze the water around one of the fish.
Yeah, absolutely. So you make
Two of the fish.
Two of the fish.
I'll say you can get two.
Two
You can
big
get two
fish.
fish in a big ice block.
Okay, so-
and then two fish that are fresh.
Where are you going to put
So
this
I
ice
once,
block?
so I
going
once
to
again,
melt.
so I once again, this time other way around, and puts his finger in and just freezes around the
This is
two.
the
And then your
Iceland
finger
freezer
freezes
discussion.
it.
This is Alex Jordan Doomsday
Yeah.
Prep. So absolutely. So I will say that's she does 4 copper for the fish. I mean, the fish is is cheap at this time of day.
It's the cheapest thing we've bought. All we've done is spend insane amount of money on wine. It's like the first thing we spent actual proper grown-up money on.
But she any of you who want to can investigate the fish to just make sure that it.
Well, I think I have
Oh,
to
no,
do
you
that,
said it.
don't I?
Great, go ahead, roll me investigation, or you can roll me nature. I don't mind. Investigation or survival.
Oh, hold on.
Investigation or survival.
I can only freeze the water provided there are no creatures in it.
Survive.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you
I do that and nothing happens.
This is why I've walked off.
I'm rolling terribly. 9.
A 9. This looks to be
Fantastic.
a reasonable fish. It's a reasonable fish. It doesn't smell really fishy. You don't get a whiff of it where you're like, wow, that's days old.
Good fish.
Okay.
With big fish.
In this episode so far, what's happened is we've completely ignored the desolate area, the dead body, and we are really doubling down. We are doubling down on this fish.
We've had some heavy stuff.
Because Harry's appealing delightfully to your nature and your nature.
I is just continually.
Have you smelt the fish? No, now we've got to smell the fish. And what about the water? But what about the water?
Endless
While all this is going on, I is just continuously
Dipping.
just wondering why nothing's freezing.
I'm gonna say that as you, this doesn't cost you, this is a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you do it, as you pull your finger out, every time you pull your finger out, the water that's still on your finger freezes. Because there's no creatures in that particular bit. So you have your fish. They're wrapped in like what they trade in is like it's like a skin, but it's not really a skin. It's almost like a cross between a parchment and a skin that seems to have been
Like the Reliquiae equivalent of newspaper.
newspaper. Yeah, it's been treated with oil and ink to just kind of keep it as dry as possible to stop it from kind of going bad and spoiling on the journey. So Mac wraps you up 4 fish.
All right.
Nice.
Shall we find somewhere to rest up?
Do we need anything else? Do we need anything else?
We has fish.
We can just wander down the road, see if anything else catches our eye.
I'd actually like to just kind of look around and, would it be a perception test or an investigation check? Just kind of listen, just overhear, see if I can hear anything that might be of...
Perception check, absolutely, to see what people are chatting about.
Yeah, just...
Can I do the same because I'm not with them?
Absolutely, you can.
I got 14.
A 14.
I got a 12.
12. Okay, so with a 12, what you both hear, and then I'll deal with the extra bit that Radian might hear with a 14. So what you hear with a 12 is you hear a few traders talking about how it's been a little quiet these last few days. They keep thinking things are going to pick up. But they don't seem unduly concerned. It doesn't seem like it's an absolute crisis for these traders, but that things have been a little quieter. And raging with a 14, you overhear a couple of halflings who are next to a stall that which smells really good. They have a little bubbling pot of what you think is probably like a cider or something mulling, and they are talking about the Fortis Legion heading south. They're talking about how strange it's been to see the Legion heading down towards Vale, that they've never seen them this far south before. But you can't tell whether they're talking about the groups you've already passed or different groups. You can't. There just isn't enough information.
I grab Elowin's hand and walk over to them.
Great. And you see two halflings who immediately look up and give you big, broad smiles. One of them is a halfling woman with very straight black hair and a kind of angular face, which is sort of unusual for a halfling. And she is, there's a little kind of box on which she's written Crispin Crickles, toffee apples and spiced cider.
Hi.
Hello.
My wife and I, we couldn't help but...
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
It smells amazing.
Oh, well, I'm glad you think so. We can... Have you had a halfling mulled cider before, spiced cider?
I don't know, darling. Have you had some before?
No, darling, I haven't.
Well, we can offer you a little snifter if you just like to taste.
Yeah, go on, sure.
And
need some alcohol.
she nods to this other halfling guy with a very neat little beard, and he takes a few little, almost like wooden shot glasses, and just puts a tiny amount of this spiced cider and hands it over to the two of you.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'd say that's...
It's excellent. It's excellent. It's very much what you'd want to be drinking in weather like this, with snow on the ground and a chill in the air.
We're just taking a tour. We've recently been hitched.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
In trying times, it's good to hear.
It is a trying time.
Sometimes you find love in the darkest of days.
It's so dark.
We're wondering. We're making our way to the Sanctum. Things seem a little bit off.
Oh, and the expressions. Let's roll insight on for both of you, please.
15.
15 from Elowen.
Just a little 10.
And a little 10 from Radian. So what you both detect is that they look concerned, and what you recognise, Elowen, with a 15, is that they don't look suspicious. Their concern doesn't seem to be targeted at you or sensed at you as if you're doing something strange. It seems to be a concern for you. And the female halfling who initially greets you says, "Oh, you're going to the Sanctum."
We've always wanted to go.
Yeah, some sort of problem at the Sanctum?
Well, I mean, all we hear is what we hear from, the travellers and traders, but you might have to view it from afar. They're not letting anyone in at the moment.
But we wanted to go.
Not letting anyone in?
Well, not since... And then they sort of incline their heads and say, not since the Sinless, in his wisdom, told the truth of the world. Well, the Legion is abroad. We've seen them passing through here, and by all accounts, the gates to the Sanctum are closed to all but the Legion themselves.
So it's just a fort? A barracks?
I suppose it is, at the moment.
Doesn't sound like fun.
No, it doesn't, does it?
No, I don't think it would be a particularly romantic. And the other halfling immediately says, "If you're looking for something spicy, I don't think that I don't think that the Sanctum will be the place to go. Instead, I'd suggest a cup of cider." And she goes, "Not now." Right? No, that's fine.
No, thank you. That's interesting.
But if we did want to go, what would be the best way to get there?
Well, the Salt Road leads to Seascale, and that's the gateway to the Sanctum. It's follow the road a few days and you'll be there.
We couldn't expect any trouble on the way if we just decided to go there.
Well, you'd struggle. You won't get across Fathom without a Dragonborn, will you?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they're letting Dragonborn in?
No! No! Are you not from this sort of region?
No, we're just travelling around, seeing Reliquiae before we settle down.
We're very much in love.
So in love.
Well, of course the Sanctum is an island, and on the island is the tower, but the Fathom, the lake in which the island sits, you can't sail it without a Dragonborn. It's bad luck, it's an ill omen. Can't even get there. You find Dragonborn in Seascale.
then maybe that's what we'll need to do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this delicious cider.
And the guy leans and says, if you like it that much, maybe you should buy some.
Yeah, you know what? 2 for the road, please.
Yes.
Please.
Oh, fantastic. Maud! And she looks at him, and he then looks back at her and then gets the goblets himself and hands you copper piece each. And she looks back and says, just 1 copper. Congratulations on your nuptials.
Thank you. We're so happy.
Happy.
You'll need, if it's not too forward of me, you'll probably want some privacy. You'll want an inn, a tavern.
Yeah, where would you recommend here?
Salt Shed, not far from here, at the edge of the market, that's good. But then you'll need to stop again before you reach Seascale. Water's Edge would be your best bet. Water's Edge is big enough that it can cope with all kinds of clientele.
We appreciate our own privacy, so those, we don't want people.
No, I can imagine. And in that really sort of awkward dad trying to chat with people a generation younger, the male halfling leans and goes, "Oh, I remember it well. Don't want to be disturbed. Sock on the door."
I'm down the cider.
It's still really good.
Good. Because this conversation's not.
Don't fancy one of those, do you? And she points, and they have like a load of toffee apples.
No, I'm good. I'm sort of watching my figure.
I'd love one. In fact, I'd love 4, please.
4 toffee apples. 2 copper, please. And hand over 2 copper, and you get these. They've been put on wax paper, and as it's peeled off the wax paper, you see that they have a proper foot at the base of really crunchy toffee, and you can see the colour of the apple within it, so shiny and like the quotidian ideal, if that's the phrase, of a I don't think that is the phrase. The ideal of an apple, green and red, that kind of blends into each other, and then this thick toffee on the outside.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure, and also mine. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Limitless adventures.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. They were lovely, Maud. You talk too much, and you.
By the way, you're responsible for I when he has all that sugar.
Hey guys, got you these.
What the hell is that? What is it?
No, I'm fine, darling.
I
Oh,
take
darling.
Dolly.
Oh, you're missing out.
No, I don't
Toffee
think I am.
apples.
What is it?
It's toffee and apple.
They've taken something healthy and covered it in something unhealthy.
Why would they do that?
Because people like I exist.
And I takes them and holds them both in one hand, walks over
I-
to Radian, and just takes Radian's hand, just squeezes it gently, as tears well in his eyes, and he doesn't know what to say, so he just nods. And that's it, that's simply it, and he just returns to just staring at these two things.
He's going to be bouncing off the wall.
I know.
You can see in his eyes, the reason he's not eating it right now is because he's kind of overwhelmed by the fact there's 2. And he's like going...
I eat it. Eat one. Take a big bite.
It's stuck in his teeth.
It's going to get stuck in his teeth. It's going to hurt his teeth.
Look, watch me. Watch.
Hell, it's as good a toffee apple as you've ever had. Amazingly, it's not oversweet, and what you realise they've done is actually the layer of crunchy, hard toffee on the outside is very thin, almost like the top of a brulee. And then inside they have a semi-set caramel. So it shatters, then is kind of like a dulce de leche, then goes into what is a very sharp apple.
Is caramel.
I devours one.
In a single
Absolutely
bite.
devours one.
He unhinges
Pour
his
it on.
jaw. He eats the stick.
That one barely even
Touches the
touches the sides. This one, as he's like swallowing down this one is so carefully. He goes into his bag, pulls out like a little bit of cloth, and just with such care, just wraps this thing, and just carefully places it in his bag, and now holds his bag like this, so as not to let it knock or maybe have the toffee crack. There's so much care over this thing now.
Perfect.
You're having the best day?
Unable to speak, not because of the toffee in the mouth, but just pure emotion.
All right, did you find anywhere that we can stay?
Yeah, there's a couple of taverns people recommend around this area. We're going to have to stop again by the time we get to the Sanctum. And that's if we can even get into the Sanctum.
Like I said, what do you mean into the Sanctum?
We need a Dragonborn.
Great, problem solved.
The bigger problem is getting there. And like I said, I have some ideas for that, but maybe we shouldn't talk about it out here. Maybe we should go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Let's go.
A reminder, just so we don't lose anything in the clarity, you need a Dragonborn to get... The rumour is you need a Dragonborn to get across the sea. The rumour is you need a member of the Fortis Legion to get in. You make your way past there are still multiple stalls, all kinds of different stuff. There's what looks to be samosas and some kind of spiced tea. There are what look to be low-level magic items.
I want some marjoram.
You want some marjoram? Roll me a luck check.
Just some low-level magic items?
You know what I need? A snack.
I'll have some mid-level spice, please. Shopping
15
for
luck.
Okay, 15. Marjoram is a temperature-sensitive perennial. I know that from Googling it just now. So
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
God, you're magic.
So you don't find fresh marjoram, but you can find dried marjoram.
Yeah, that's fine.
Copper piece for a little twist of dried marjoram, like you would have bought sugar a long time ago in a paper twist.
This'll go good with the fish.
which is slowly rotting.
Oh, the fish is bad by now. The fish is really bad by now. He's lost his appetite. I threw the fish away to get space for the toffee apple. There is a two-story, quite small tavern ahead of you, which has a sign that says the Salt Shed, which is the name that Maud gave you.
Yep.
This is the place?
Well, this is the one they recommended, and then there's another one further up that we can stop at before we get any closer, but this
Great.
is what they said was good, and I don't know anywhere else.
Beggars can't be choosers. Let's go in here.
So as you go into the Salt Shed, it's busy but not rammed. There are plenty of people sitting at tables. There's a bar, and then in the back of the space, facing to the west, is a large window. And rather than sitting huddled around the fire, people seem to be sitting, looking out the window. And out the window, you realise you're on almost like a promontory, like an area of elevation before a sudden drop down towards a long, long patch of stone that leads to the edge of Seren, perhaps a quarter of a mile away from where you are now. And people are watching the mists. Have any of you ever seen the mists of Seren before?
I've seen them in passing.
So the mists of Seren move almost as if they are... They move like they're being shifted as they are by constant winds. But what happens is as the light catches them, and Seren's known for having storms, big sheets of lightning far in almost the center of the sea. This light is constantly playing against the mists, and so you almost get these swirling patterns like oil in water, as if the mists are marbling and moving, and people are watching it like they'd watch a campfire, or like they'd sit next to a waterfall, sipping steaming cups of hot drink. And you can see condensation starting to form in the corners of the panes of the windows as people get closer and closer to watch this light illuminated mist as they twirl and dance over the sea.
I'm gonna go take a seat and watch as well.
Same. I think I'd be totally in love with something like this.
Roll me... No, actually, what are you thinking about while you look over the sea?
I think I'm thinking how much Torian would like to see this.
What are you thinking about, Dolly?
Because I'm thinking about the person that I have a plan to see, and that's making me think back to my time pre-web and the people that I knew then.
And the other three of you, where are you heading? There is a bar, there are staff, there are people you can talk to and see if they have rooms.
I'm also gonna watch.
What do you think about when you're looking out the window?
How little I know. And a kind of sense of awe and wonder that I kind of haven't felt since seeing the colours way off in the distance at the top of Mount Atria. And that feeling of my world suddenly feeling a lot bigger. And every time I see something like this going, how many more things are there that I haven't seen? And also on autopilot have reached into my bag and I'm watching this while enjoying the second toffee apple.
Roll me a perception check.
14.
3 other people are also eating toffee apples.
Bloody apples.
Kellis, Radiant?
I think I'm going to find a table and sit down, and it's someplace where I can see out the window still, but I'm not like at the window.
The real estate is the window rather than the fire. And so what would in any other tavern be the best seats with these high sort of patched, faded leather wingback chairs, 3 or 4 of them around a small table and a bench beside it. You settle into the central one of these wingbacks. You can hear outside behind your head the kind of front of the building and the wind just starting to whistle past. And you look past the crackling firelight and this glow that the fire is sending into the room, and that glow then is almost repeated, suffusing that far-off mist with a sort of pinky orange. And you watch. What do you think about?
I'm thinking about the last time I was in these lands on my way back from Seascale. And I was hungry and I stopped. And I was caught in a storm. And in that storm, I almost died. But I didn't. But I remember it as a moment of... I remember it as a moment of... back then, I was alone. And I feel very much not alone anymore. I feel quite satisfied that I have companions.
Beautiful. Radiant?
I just go and join him by the fire. That woman, the fish seller, talking about these mists. I don't think she's wrong, you know.
About what?
I'm not into that, but there's got to be something. The Alanites aren't all there is. We've seen it. We've seen beyond those mountains there's something. We've seen that tree. What if there's something beyond that? What if there's something beyond that?
There must be something beyond it, because the gods came from somewhere.
Do you ever think about that? How small and insignificant we are.
I do.
Do you think we can make a difference?
I don't. Except to each other. We are small, we are insignificant. Our value is really in what we mean to each other. That's what makes us significant.
I've never really had someone before. Someone to care about. Someone to fight for.
You still don't remember before, do you?
Things are starting to come back to me. But the problem is I'm starting to like who I am now. What if I don't like who I was?
Who does?
We're all running from something. I don't know what I'm running from, so I'm just gonna keep looking forward.
For what it's worth, Radian, I value your friendship.
And I value yours. I've got another toffee apple, if you'd like it.
No, I'm still licking the stuff out of my teeth.
Okay. Should we give the other one to I? Because I think he might go crazy if I give him a third.
That would be fun to watch.
Should we do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna get up and wander over to their table and be like, so are we getting a room here, or what do we think?
I want to watch I eat another candy apple.
You can't give me you listen, he'll be sick everywhere, and I just don't want to have to deal with that. I don't want to have to add another damage deposit on top of what we're paying, like...
Perception with disadvantage. You're on such a sugar high, and you've also got into this. You've got into the unspoken camaraderie of people who are eating the same thing in a restaurant, and you and the other toffee apple eaters keep catching each other's eye and sort of little nod of recognition, or even they do a little sort of gesture with either the stick or the remaining part of the toffee apple, as if to say, "Haven't we done well?"
Got you too.
So, I, with disadvantage, rolled an 18 and a 19.
Wow, I can't pull the wool over
So
this.
I is just hearing and subconsciously hearing the conversation and hearing I, toffee apple.
Can I?
I, toffee apple.
Dude, can I roll a perception check to see if I clock that I clocks?
Could you do that? Yeah, why not?
It's literally all it is you can just see the ears.
See the ears like if you walk past a government building. With the
It's 22.
22, absolutely. You clock it. You clock the ear twitch.
Radian.
Yeah?
We should definitely give I the other candy apple.
Why are you speaking weirdly like that?
What?
Why are you speaking weirdly like that?
I'm not speaking weirdly. What are you
You've
talking
suddenly
about?
got very
You're
strange.
enunciating
What?
something.
You're just really pronouncing
Yeah,
your
you're
words.
really, like, it's like you're on stage all of a sudden.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's not how you normally sound, right? You're doing like a thing.
You're freaking me out now. What are you doing?
What was in those toffee apples?
You didn't even eat one.
I did.
Oh.
It's in his teeth.
Didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I did.
And you want to give I the other one.
Oh, I don't think he wants another toffee apple.
Well, I've got this other one for him.
Oh, I don't think he wants that. No.
I's head is just looking out of the mist and just...
I couldn't possibly want another delicious, scrumptious toffee apple.
And just starts walking.
I'm a little confused. You want me to throw this away?
No.
Click of the heels.
He activates his boots of
And
speed.
literally, and before you know anything, you are stood there like that, and the toffee apple is just gone. Everything else is remained perfectly in position and in the space that it was. And I has done a little loop around and is on the other side of the table, like trying to lean back on a chair that is like not quite big enough with his feet up like this and a toffee apple back like this. And he's just like in a kind of euphoric state, eyes rolling back in his head. Just
He is both your problem.
So as I begins his third toffee apple, and the evening starts to really kick in.
yes, it does.
It really starts to
You'll
drop.
sleep well tonight. The sugar crash will be mild.
Yeah, this place is starting to get busier, and you hear various people starting to go up and talk to the staff behind the bar about rooms, and they are at a premium. There aren't that many taverns around here, so if you want to stay here, you should probably think about doing it fast.
I'll go up and try and have a word with the barster.
And it's a dragonborn. It's a male dragonborn who has a sort of immediately. It's quite the dragonborn are built muscular. This dragonborn looks less muscular than most, as if in a way that you don't see very often. He's gently gone to seed. And he goes, "How are you then?"
All right, it's busy around here.
Yeah, it's all picking up a little bit. It's good.
You picked a good spot, really. There's not a lot of other taverns around here, I understand.
No, I mean, well, not of this quality.
Well,
You'd have to go long past the reflection stone till you got to Water's Watch. That's when you'd.
anything interesting going on at the minute?
Well, it's all been a little bit up and down. Last couple of. You've been living under a rock.
Well, on the road, which often works out the same.
You saw the old, and he gestures up towards the sky.
Gonna roll her eyes. Sinless.
Yeah. So that old caper, and then, well, of course, they started coming down soon after that.
Legion.
Yeah, putting the placards up. We took them down soon enough.
Did you?
Well, not having someone dictate to me how I can live.
You'd be surprised.
Ah, absolutely.
Good to
No,
hear there's some people with sense around here.
you pay them no mind. Then they're not going to do anything, are they? I mean, what power do they have? They have no jurisdiction here.
Yeah, but people with less power have done more when given half a chance.
That's true. Well, if what we heard from our sinless friend is to be believed, well, there's much worse than the Fortis Legion coming.
Do you believe what he said?
I'll tell you this, I've had no one from Load. Not for weeks. That's what I worry about.
Yeah, but usually people like that, they hide a lot of lies behind a half-truth. It's easier to get away with it.
Well, perhaps now you start to sound like one of those endless oceans.
Well, wouldn't know anything about that. Not very seaworthy myself, have to say, but room for 5?
Goes to a ledger, sort of.
Do us a favour. It's been a long day.
I could squeeze you in a 4, give you a mattress on the floor for a 5th.
You know what? That's perfect.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's perfect. You know what? One of us won't even... Doesn't matter. It'll be fine.
So it's 2 silver for the room.
No problem.
2 silver, and he hands you like a proper key with a little wooden toggle on it, and one for some reason something that goes around a curtain to draw it. You have one of those on there as well, like a really
fancy.
quite long.
Yeah.
We cater to a certain clientele. They're very comfy. Let me know if you need anything more.
I think we'll be good.
I'm Ajax, by the way.
Pamela,
nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Where you headed?
Taking a trip down to Seascale, actually.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. I have
Good
an old
town.
friend there, so...
Good town, Seascale. You got friends, have you?
I think so. I'm gonna go check it out, It's been a while, but last I heard they were headed in that direction, so...
Okay. There's not many who go to Seascale who want to leave.
Well, that's it,
It's a good place. It's a good place.
All right, well, probably see you around. I think we'll stick around for a couple of drinks.
Yeah, of course. Get busier, and then as soon as the moon comes out and the mists start to fade, it gets clear at night sometimes over the sea, and then it'll start to quieten down a little bit in here.
I don't know. I think that's when I'd want to be looking out.
Well, you're one of the ones who knows what you're talking about, then.
That's what I keep telling people.
Yeah, and you have your key to your room.
Gonna plunk it on the table. Done.
Ooh, did you get rooms?
One room.
One room.
You're on the floor.
You turn round to where I was. I is now a little way away across the room with the sugar high and with this feeling of, what else is there that I don't know? And can I have just found the nearest couple of people and be kind of just saying, you just turn around and eyes over there, like
So who is you? Where is you from? And what is this like?
You see that I is speaking to like a couple of humans who, they can't. They're looking round at every Dragonborn to try and figure out who's responsible for you, and as one of them is chatting, going, yeah.
And does it rain there much?
Where I'm from.
Where's you from?
From Caressi.
And it rains much, or is it sunny?
Yeah, sometimes. And you can see the other one is trying to make eye contact with every Dragonborn, and when they do, pointing at your head and gesturing and mouthing like, "Is this yours? Is this yours?"
Is there much hunting?
Yeah.
Does you do hunting?
No, we do a little bit. I mean,
traps.
Not particular. Well, I'm not myself.
He uses crossbow.
I'm not a hunter. I'm a ceramicist.
A ceramicist, and this is
make pots and plates and
ceramicist.
Yeah, ceramics.
Ceramicist.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
yes.
And one of the humans finally makes eye contact with me and goes. I go.
So while I is bending the ear of these humans in the corner,
ceramicist.
So that's very well done. That's very good for a young man looking over.
All right. C scale.
Yeah.
It's been years since I was in C scale.
How well do you know it?
Not well. To be honest, I'm a bit frightened.
Of what?
Of going to the Sanctum.
People you know there?
No.
The
I
opposite.
don't think. I don't know.
What scares you?
Dragonborn.
You're gonna have to give me more than that.
Why would you be scared of your own kind?
I don't know my own kind.
Kel, what do you mean?
I don't know Dragonborn.
Where were you raised?
In Lathi. In Lathi.
But you call it Lath because you're from there.
Lath.
In the local dialect, it's called Lath.
Not by Dragonborn.
No.
Okay.
Roll me a perception check, Dolly.
8.
You notice that Kel is nervous, but you don't notice anything in particular.
So great, we're going to try and go to the Dragonborn city with the only not Dragonborn, when the only way into the Dragonborn city is with a Dragonborn.
Do you want to go there?
I do not know. I think there are answers, but I don't know if I want to know them.
Okay.
In the Sanctum.
We're not gonna let anything happen to you. You know that.
I know that. I know that I'm not alone. We must be careful. I may...
Kel. You've seen me. You've seen what I do. Sometimes I just walk headlong into things and I don't think about the consequences.
Sometimes.
Most of the time I walk headlong into things and I don't think about the consequences, and half the time it goes dramatically wrong. But then half the time it looks really cool.
Half the time.
Some of the time it looks really cool, and some of the time remarkable things happen. And I'm terrified every single time. I don't know what's going to happen, but sometimes, Kel, you've just got to walk straight into something.
So that's terrible advice. But he's not
tried to give some.
Not entirely wrong.
What I'm saying is, sometimes you shouldn't hide behind a hinge.
I had a plan.
And I didn't. And if I hadn't have done what I'd done, maybe I would be dead.
But you're not. I see your point, I think.
What I'm saying is that I will be there. We will be there for you. Let us support you. Just walk straight into it and we'll be there.
Our journey takes us to the Sanctum. I will go, but my fears are... They are.
It's okay. You know, we've all faced a lot in the last, I don't know, however long we've been together, and you've always been the strongest out of all of us. But it's all right. You don't always have to be that. Being strong isn't being strong all the time. It's knowing that you're scared or that you're worried and doing stuff anyway.
That's way better advice than the one that I just gave you. I'm really sorry.
No, I like you. I think you're foolish. But I like you.
There's a word for it.
Thank you.
So to our little problem of getting there.
A little problem of getting in there.
One thing at a time. I think I know someone who can help us in Seascale.
Well, that does help us somewhat. And you trust them?
Yeah.
You know someone.
I know someone. Look, I had an interesting past pre-web. I knew some colorful people. Trust wasn't a word that we threw around a lot, but this person was one of the better ones. I like her. I think that she'll help us if she's there.
Well, at least colourful sounds fun. And it's a better plan than what we've got right now, which is nothing.
Well, colourful was never dull. It's often ridiculously dangerous, but it's kind of fun sometimes.
Well, so far everything we seem to do is ridiculously dangerous, but at least we can make it fun.
Well, I don't know. I just thought I'd throw it out there, since we don't have any other leads.
I have nothing else to offer, so I'd say this is our plan at the moment.
And so, was you always meant to be a ceramicist?
This
was your tribe's role
father,
for you?
No, it was very fortunate, actually. My father married well. My mother was a very wealthy lady.
Married?
Yes.
Married is
yes.
What a ceramicist does?
No, a ceramicist makes... This is awful. It's been a long day, my friend, and I think I've given you all of the improv I have. I don't think I could be accused of giving you too little.
It's astonishing.
But I think we might. I think we looks at his companion. You can go to bed? Yes, we'll go. We're gonna go to bed. So it's been lovely to meet you. I've really enjoyed your company.
Has fun ceramming.
And have fun learning.
And I looks around and sees everyone having a huddle and kind of wanders back over and says,
So what is we talking about?
The journey to the Sanctum.
When is we going?
Well, we have to, sleep first, and then we'll head out tomorrow.
Yes, at some point you have to sleep.
Yes, you really are going to need to sleep.
Even ceramicists need to sleep.
Where did you learn that word?
I has been learning.
Oh.
Fine. Yes, of course you have. Have you been bothering people?
Ceramicist.
I just
Did you leave him by himself?
Ceramicist.
Were you not watching him?
I just got a little toffee right there.
Ceramicist.
You were supposed to be watching him.
I was busy making the plan with you. Did you not hear the amazing advice I just gave Cal? I was really locked in then.
I heard advice, but I wouldn't call it amazing.
Oh, wow. You just sat there and just quipped at me the entire time. I'm sorry. I'm focusing on, I don't need...
We haven't had nearly enough wine to deal with this
Yeah,
conflict.
how about this? Darling, why don't you go and buy us some wine?
Good idea.
Oh, he's tired.
No, at all.
Barkeep,
Yes.
some wine, please.
And it's oh.
And can you tell us about ceramics, please?
It depends what kind of decanters you'd like to drink your wine from. That depends.
We're looking for something kind of medium-bodied. Just kind of low on tannins.
Yeah.
But really lovely, kind of light. Do you know what? I want it to have like a light finish, but kind of like a real kind of like a full body,
like a
palate.
like a Beaujolais.
It finishes fresh.
That's the first one that comes up on Google. Is a Beaujolais Nouveau. Yeah, I can.
In the Beaujolais region of Reliquiae.
Beaujolais region. Of course, I can find something like that.
How much is that?
It's 5 silver. It's a good wine.
1 second, I need to consult with my wife.
Just give him a coin. I don't even make eye contact. It's like already in my hand. I just pass it to him.
So Ajax brings you a bottle. It looks to be a good bottle. Has those nettings around them for some reason. Bit of netting around it, and pours it into a decanter for you. Says, "If I were you, I'd let it breathe for 5 or so. Just let it get acclimatized. It's too good to just throw it back."
Thank you.
Gives you a little tray with some ceramic, almost what look like tea-style cups to drink it from.
Well, I got the wine.
Yeah, yes, the real hero of the hour, as usual.
Like that.
Dolly is
Let it
Dolly
breathe.
and Cal reach for exactly the same moment.
Yeah, I'm definitely having a drink.
So you sit and you drink, and gradually the mists start to fade and the people start to clear out, and then what you're left with is a clear sky and the stars and the moon over Seren. And still the far, far reaches of it are obscured. It's too dark to see. But you can just about start to make out the shapes of some of the nearest islands, backlit by the moonlight.
I'm going to take my wine and sit back where it's a better view of the window.
I'm going to take my wine and step outside and go find a quiet spot to sit and just enjoy this clear, beautiful night, the stars and the moon and the crisp night air.
And not to bother Kel, but I'm actually going to go with you because I really like looking at the stars.
Okay.
I was just going to remain inside looking at all the ceramics and thinking how long it must have taken that one person to make all the ceramics in the world.
I am the ceramicist. So, Kel and Elowen, would Kel be aware of your presence?
He's aware of everything.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not trying to be sneaky.
What a ridiculous question. Kelnis, you're aware as you find there's a tree that fell, must have fallen in a storm or in some kind of squall that blew off the that flew in off the sea. And all of the trees here none of them grow straight up. There's too much wind for them to grow straight up. And so all that's really happened is a tree that was always leaning has just finally cracked, and it's created this almost like a bench. And you sit and look up at the moon and the stars, and as I said, it's a clear night, a beautiful night. And you're aware of Elowen coming and sitting on the tree next to you.
Can I join you?
Of course. And I'm touching the tree trunk as I look up at the sky and I say, "Do you know these trees only grow in this region?"
I didn't know that. I guess the forests outside of where I grew up, I've never really paid much attention to anything that wasn't ours.
This wood is... It's very... soft yet hard. It is unique. It is ideal for making spoons.
Sounds like you can make spoons out of just about anything.
You can. If it's made of wood.
If it's made of course. Yeah, I guess I only ever focused on the oak tree growing up. The rest of them didn't really mean much to me.
There were lots of oak back at the Castle Grenweir.
Yeah, that's where the family motto comes from.
Are you missing home?
Yeah, more than I thought I would. Somehow going home has made it worse. Knowing I can go home has made it worse.
You went home and then you left again. That must be hard.
I left again, and I've left them in a very dangerous situation. I've made it worse for them.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, it's not a great one, and there's not a lot I can do. I guess the only thing I can do is to try and figure out what is happening. Just run headfirst at the problem and hope I can figure it out when I get there.
Sounds like a good plan.
It's the only one I've got, so it's just hope whatever the problem is, it can be fixed with an application of a short sword, because that's about all I've got, Cal.
You're quite good with that short sword.
It's the only thing I've got to be good with.
Can I look at your dagger?
Of course you can. I can trust you with it. And you think you're probably the only person I would trust with it. And I will actually hand you the Grenweir dagger.
It's so finely crafted.
They are. They're in the family for generations. As soon as you get old enough to understand why you should have one, you are gifted one, and it is unusual that I would have one.
I'm looking at it in the moonlight and seeing the moonlight glint off the blade.
Usually, only my brothers would get them. They made an exception for me.
It is a fine weapon.
Yeah, it's kept me safe so far. It's a nice reminder of who you are and where you're from. And I'm lucky to have a place that I'm from. When we were kids, we used to go into the forest and look at the stars. And every now and again, you'd see a shooting star, and I always used to think, God, this place must be so much bigger than this forest.
It is. Reliquiae is a big place. And yet, it is, as Radian says, insignificant.
I don't think Reliquiae is insignificant. I think it plays a rather large part in what's going to be my story.
Our story.
Our story.
Now, back inside with Dolly.
Sorry.
No.
You're stuck inside with him.
No, I've chosen to sort of look out at now that the mist is cleared out the window at the moon and everything, not to go outside into it. I think it's kind of fitting that I'm looking at it through glass, but just kind of lost in thought a little bit. I think the prospect of seeing Aska has just got me in my head a bit about the life that I had beforehand. Mm-hmm. I'm just kind of pondering that a little bit.
And then Radian and
I would like to go up to Dolly and say, so, this person we're going to meet.
Mm-hmm. I knew you were going to ask about that.
Someone from your past.
Yeah, I've got a lot of those. Mm-hmm. Remember I told you once, you don't have a past, you can't be burdened by it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking from experience. This one's one of the good ones, honestly. But it's got me thinking about the ones that weren't so good.
Who were you before this?
Someone that I wasn't proud to be. I left home And almost immediately fell in with the wrong crowd. And I didn't entirely hate it for a long time. I mean, it was always small stuff, like people that could afford to lose things until it wasn't. And then I let myself get talked into such stupid stuff. I was really naive. And then I didn't care. And then I got taken advantage of. And felt like what it was to be on the other side.
Sounds like you've been lots of different people.
Yeah, I have. And the problem with that is, I don't really know who I am. I'm really good at being whoever the person I'm speaking to in the moment needs me to be. Don't know who I am when I'm not. Trying to manipulate, trying to wheedle my way into something. Get a little lonely, that's all.
You can choose, though.
What?
The person that I see, what you do, I have never seen an individual do. Take it from someone who's never really... I don't really have the kind of charisma that it takes to do what you can do.
I don't know. You have your moments?
I don't know. I think I'm pretty stupid. You can choose. Now.
Well, I've started to, but I'm still unlearning a lot of that stuff, you know?
You're not alone.
We're all alone.
No, we're not. You could have run so many times. Lord knows I've done so many things to make myself seem incredibly unattractive. Like I do weird stuff, like weird, crazy things, and you are still here. And you make it out like you run from any sort of challenge, that any time something gets difficult, you run, but you're still here.
But every time is a battle not to. That's the problem. I shouldn't have to try that hard to be a good person.
But look at us. We are so dysfunctional in every single way, and yet you have held us together. And whether that was the web forcing you to do it, you made the choice. You chose to break those chains.
Yeah, just worried for the time that I make the wrong choice. I don't know that that's not gonna happen.
But when it counted, you made the right one.
Yeah.
You're not going to run because you cannot outrun I. Those boots are absolutely insane.
Well, with 3 toffee apples in them, no one's gonna outrun him.
I have one last question. Do you ever feel you just kind of want to jump into the water sometimes?
Yeah, I really do.
Like, I know it's dangerous, I know it's scary, but I kind of feel like I just want to just jump in.
Especially at nighttime, I don't know what it is.
Listen, let's make a promise. When we get to sea scale, we're just going to jump in the water.
Okay. No looking beforehand, we just go.
Elowin's probably not going to want to do it.
No, but I mean, she's weighed down by a lot of armor, so, like, it's probably for the best.
Okay. Anyway, good chat.
Yeah.
And unless there's anything else anyone wants to do this evening, you head to your full berth room, where despite what you said about not needing anything else, you did notice at one point Ajax went up and slid another blanket and a pillow at least into the room. And how's the sugar?
Surprisingly, it's like when I have coffee before bed, I can actually go to sleep like that.
Yes, honey, that's called neurodivergence.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
I curls up underneath the bed and is very quickly asleep.
So
I'm telling you now, the crash will kick in tomorrow morning.
He's all tucking
Whose
out.
whose bed are you under?
I didn't know when I got in.
Who gets onto the bed where I is under?
Oh, I will this time.
Okay. There is like, as you get on, I slides under, you get on, and then there is like, you can hear him for a moment, like really tossing and turning, and then there are like 10 seconds where, like a child on a plane, you have the base of the bed like kicked like loads, really, really fast, and then and then you hear his heels hit the floor as he passes out, kind of mid-kick.
It's like he's running in his sleep.
And you wake the next morning,
I'm
and
out in trance anyway.
oh yeah, you don't actually.
No, I know, but I really like to be performative.
Is that you or Radiant?
Both of us.
I'm going to say no one needs to do anything other than, can you roll me a Constitution saving throw, please, to see how the sugar's working its way out your system.
That is a 12.
12. Okay, yeah. No, I'm going to say no mechanical impairment with a 12. You have a bit of a headache, a bit of a frontal lobe headache, you know, like right behind one eye, and you're like, oh man. But you're pretty sure with a little bit of fresh air and some water, you'll kind of get to where you need to get to.
Great.
You feel much worse than you've ever felt after drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Can I spend a little bit of time in the morning and try and read my book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You've had one success, right?
Yes.
And how many did I say you needed? 3. Okay, and that 20 is 2, by the way.
It's an 18.
Okay, right, 2 successes. We are one extra roll, one
hold
good
on
roll
to
away
me.
from you having a +1 to Constitution.
Hey, everything helps. Everything helps.
Everything.
Can I just say, I think I'm not sleeping particularly well. I'm having these horrible nightmares after what the docent told me.
Okay.
So I sleep, but I don't sleep particularly soundly. I
Roll
think.
me a wisdom saving throw, and I'll talk to you about what you saw.
22.
Okay.
You're fine.
You
You slept incredibly well.
saw everything.
So you dream of flashing images. You dream of a skeletal hand holding an amulet. You dream of someone clasping their face as they're wreathed in fire. You dream of... I'll tell you what you dream of. And you're trying to control these images, control these flashing images, like almost as if you can lucid dream. And all these different things that flash up are memories. It's your time in the web, it's your time before. And then there's one image that comes to you. And you are on the top, in the canopy of a tree of Lathy. And with a 22, you compel your brain to focus on this image. You compel your dream self, your subconscious, to stop here and wait. And of all the places that you could be, you can feel your heartbeat of these horrifying images, and there's something that you want to stay in. And you force this image to remain and to start to spool forward. And it is the top of a tree, and the tree is walking. The tree is moving. And you reach out your hand, and you feel a soft hand take it. And you breathe out, and the sun sunset that you're walking into dips lower and lower towards the horizon, and as you turn your head to see the owner of that hand, although you know who it is, you turn your head to see the owner of that hand, and that's when you wake up, before the face is revealed to you. So you sleep badly for 90% of your sleep, but in those last moments you manage to focus on something beautiful at the very end of a turbulent night of nightmares.
You're right, Cal. You're the only person I've seen who wakes up looking worse when you went to bed.
My dreams trouble me. And yet, I did have a very good one last night.
Well, it's better than nightmares, so... Oh, better than the elf who doesn't have any dreams, which I still think is incredibly weird.
Well, we got a long way to go.
Yeah, let's get back on the road. Let's carry more fish. More fish we don't need. Let's carry the fish.
We don't still have those fish.
You
We still
didn't
have
cook
the
the fish. You never mentioned that you cooked the fish. You now just have 4 fish and some dried marjoram.
Stinks in here.
It's starting. I mean, they were fish that were very much to be consumed on the day of purchase. You've now kept them in.
I just open the window, just...
you want to get rid of the fish?
Yeah.
You hoy the fish.
I hands a bit of rope.
4 fish out the window?
I hands a bit of rope, and like you just throw the fish. And I'm like,
You gods have lowered them.
I don't want them to be closer. I want them to be as far away as
So now that we
possible.
finished
salted
eating fish
those.
at people,
You could have brined them. You did have a little bit
They
of
were
brine.
way past that point.
I don't know why we bought 4 fish.
Do they like smack somebody on the way out? You know, like down on the street?
Yeah, someone actually falls off the cliff and dies. Someone is killed. In fact, it was Maud's husband. It was Maud's husband.
Wait, who threw them?
Dolly, yeah.
Finally!
So,
Community's going
Is
to
that
finally
because we
update
need to
Dolly's
decide?
account.
Because obviously the community are going to is that a kill?
that's not a kill.
Just a casual murder first thing in
all
the
of right yourself. I'm
morning.
like, we're murderers, and then being like, yeah, I threw a fish and it hit a man
Because
off
I
a
want to
cliff.
go. It's okay.
Why is that one okay? Another 20-minute conversation about morality from Radiant incoming.
Listen, if it's cool, it's fine.
So you,
Okay, that's where we draw the line.
you head out of the salt shed and you continue to make your way north. You've risen reasonably early. The sun is up. It's perhaps 7 o'clock in the morning when you hit the road. It's a long day of walking ahead of you. And after a time, the road rises. It rises into foothills of snow-covered ferns. And the white of the snow is broken up at intervals by the burnt brown of the dead plants beneath. And this sea road climbs a rise, and it offers a view over to Seren. You're higher now than when you began, but even from here, the far shore is wreathed in a mist that is so thick that as you look at it, it's hard to tell where the mist ends and the grey of the sky begins. Everyone roll me perception checks. You're, I would say, 4 hours into your walking, so it's coming up towards midday.
It's a nat 20, but a +8 on it as well. It's 28.
I mean, a nat 20 will do. Anyone get better than a 28?
Not a 28.
What'd you get, Elowen?
22.
22. Radiant?
I've got a 19.
19. I?
6.
12.
12.
Headaches really got to you most of
I is
Yeah.
walking along, trying to remember the word, and he's muttering to himself. He's not thinking about anything. He's just going, Saram wrap. And he's just in his own world, trying to remember the word.
The rest of you hear movement on the road ahead, at the crest of this foothill that you're climbing. Kel, you hear muttered speech in Draconic. It sounds like 2 Draconic voices who are one giving instruction, one receiving instruction. But the view of them is obscured by the crest of the hill.
I hear voices. I think there are dragonborn ahead. They could be.
We should split.
Fortis
Some of us
Legion.
get off the road, some of us stay here. We can't be seen together, given our descriptions in the sky. I'll stay here, you go.
Who will come with me?
I'll come with you.
I'll stay with you. Go with the big one.
So, Kellis, I, and Radian, you are walking up the road towards these voices. Is that what I'm understanding?
We're going to stay. You want to step off the road, is that correct?
And yeah, I think we should step off.
Okay, so you want to step off the road and start to cut your way through the underground. I'm going to say roll stealth checks. I'm going to say specifically the... No, okay, you can roll them flat. You can roll stealth checks flat. And then Dolly and Elowen are just... You're going to keep walking up the road, okay. So let's have stealth.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
21.
21.
13.
13. Okay. As you start to... Are you trying to sort of stay level with the others as they're making their way up? Okay.
Yeah,
so,
keeping up with them, keeping them within sight as well.
Okay. So, Elowen and Dolly, you start to climb the rise, and what you see is 2 Dragonborn. One silver-scaled with patches of gold. One almost pure golden with the odd scale that is silver. And they're big. Even for Dragonborn, they're big. And they have no kind of real clothing on their top halves as protection against the elements. But what they do have is one of them, the gold one, is wielding a longsword. And the other is trying to paste a placard over a large oval-shaped stone that has been set into the ground overlooking this cliff which offers a view of Seren. And they're wearing these sort of blue and gold, like kind of baggy trousers, and they have braces on their arms as kind of forearm protection. And as the three of you are picking your way, I, Radian, and Kellis towards them, I and Kellis are slipping through these. This is a difficult area to stealth. You've got dry bracken, you've got ferns, everything is white, it's very hard. What I has successfully done is sort of slipped down and is almost going beneath the level, whereas Kel is sort of picking his way through and dipping down when he needs to. And Radian, you step on a dry, beneath the ferns, there's a big rotting log, and it gives that kind of percussive thump as you step into it, and your foot goes right through it. And you see these Dragonborn turn and look at you first, Dolly and Elowen. And
you know, if I looked like that, I'd probably be showing it off too, but aren't you cold?
Roll me performance. With a successful performance, the beefy one, the golden one, has a passive perception of 13. The other one doesn't. So what I'll say with a performance check, you can essentially impose disadvantage. Mm-hmm. What I'll say is with a successful performance check, you will divert attention onto you rather than him looking at Radiant.
10.
A 10. That won't do it, I'm afraid. His head snaps towards Radiant and then back to you. And he says, "You are being watched."
Oh, that was our friend. He was just over there. He was, you know, the call of nature and all that. Just went into the woods to...
Why does he move slowly?
Woo! Sorry. Had to get some privacy back over there.
Roll me a deception or performance, whichever you like.
12.
12. Okay.
You're technically being helped.
Nah. He looks to the other and says, "Oh, you don't speak Draconic, do you?" Kellis and you hear him turn to the other and say, "Draw your weapon." And the golden one's hand kind of brings his longsword to his side, and the silver one draws a short sword.
Whoa. What's happening here?
You try to ambush us here on the road.
We're just walking forward.
Then use the road.
that's what I'm trying to do.
And your friend, your companion here, who wishes to hide himself in the ferns?
He's just a little bit shy, that's all. He doesn't really... Oh, this is awkward. He doesn't really get on that well with Dragonborn.
And this big one takes a step towards you. And in fact, he steps sort of fully into the ferns. And you see that where they come up to your thighs, they come up to about his knees. And he takes a step towards you and he says, "And what problem do you have with my people?"
I don't have a problem with your people at all. It's just your problem. Your people have a problem with me.
Can I step in between and just be like, try and intimidate?
Yes, you can.
And just say, I imagine there's a problem with anybody who just draws their sword on people who are travelling on the roads.
Roll me intimidation check.
I'm going to use heroic inspiration on that. With intimidation, that would be a 13.
He looks down at you. Says, "These are trying times." And then he says something in Draconic, which both Kel and I hear and recognize as, "Stay close to me. Watch for any others." And looks at you and says, "The Legion has a responsibility. It is up to us to keep these people safe.
I didn't think the Legion had jurisdiction this far.
These are the days of the Sinless. Everything has changed.
And your orders come from him.
Our orders come from Segovax, who's come from Carvilius, who's come from the Sinless."
And you expect people to just be okay with that?
It matters little to me whether liars rejoice when the truth is spoken, or whether the darkness quakes in fear of the light.
Just seems to me you're coming in very hot on it all, when people are just trying to walk down the street, you know?
Roll me persuasion.
12.
12. Well, I will make this concession then. We will sheathe our weapons, allow us to search your belongings, and you can be on your way.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
And he looks to the two of you as well.
They can certainly search my pack. And I'll offer up my pack.
I believe you have a letter in there from your father that begins Elowen Maeli.
Oh, do we?
Well, did you take that letter from your father when it was on
No, because we
bed?
we ran out the room because someone screamed in the courtyard.
Okay, and you wouldn't have taken that letter with you, you would have left it there.
I'm just going to say I probably would have taken it.
I'll tell you what, roll me a luck check. Higher than a 10 or higher, you have not brought that letter with you.
It's a 13.
It's a 13. You do not have the letter with you. Do you willfully give over your packs?
I'll give my pack, yes.
Okay. How I'm going to do this is I'm going to roll investigation checks. You know your inventory better than me. The higher I roll, the more chance he has of finding something incriminating if such a thing exists, and I will leave it to the honesty of you guys to tell me whether or not those things are in there.
Yeah.
Are you giving up your pack as well, Ray?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, I'll roll first for Dolly. That's a 6.
I mean, I genuinely don't think she has anything in there. She has, like, the Tome of Bodily Health. She has her perfume. She has some spoons. And, like, a daisy chain and stuff, and that's it.
You have the sending stones.
They're on my person.
They're on your person. And Elowen, that is also a 6. Come on, tabletop dominion. Go and roll something higher.
Come on, let's make Radiant's life hell.
That's a 17.
So many spoons.
Oh, they find a lot of spoons, but then ultimately they find my spell book.
Have you written...
Yeah.
property off.
I write a lot of stuff in there. And I imagine that they would find things that we've done in there. And it depends whether I'm going to give you the book, I'm going to tell you that's what they find.
Okay.
There are many things written down, my thoughts on everyone, things that I think about, observations that I've made.
It's a bloody burn book.
All right, Batman. Yeah. How to kill the Justice
Can the
League.
three of you roll insight checks, and can I and Kellis roll perception? So what do we get on our insight checks first? Go ahead, Radiant. 3.
14.
14. And
21.
And 21. 21. You are sort of looking as he leaves through the pages of the book, this larger
Can
one.
I start slowly circling around behind?
You absolutely can, yes. He is absorbed in this book, and you see how absorbed he gets when he gets to the first page, which has Radian's name on it. And then you see that this is functioned almost as a diary for Radian as well as a spell book. It has the names Dolly in it. It has the name Endelian, and then that is crossed out, and he has written clearly at a later date in different coloured ink, Elowen, apparently. How did you get on your perceptions, our Draconic speakers?
I got a 10.
I got a nat 1.
A nat 1. You see him turn his head, this golden one, to the silver, and you see him whisper something. You can't make out what he says. And then he turns to you, Radiant, and he says, I think it would be best if you came with us.
I cast Conjure Animals.
Great. Tell me about... I'm going to say that the two of you get essentially a surprise round because you're hidden. There is no reason he would know where you are. That if we're going into combat, that is not how it would work for the other three of you because you are right there next to them. So I'm going to put this on. Tell me about Conjure Animals.
Okay, Conjure Animals. You conjure nature spirits that appear in a large pack of spectral, intangible animals in an unoccupied space you can see within range. The pack lasts for the duration, and you choose the spirit animals' forms, such as wolves, serpents, or birds. You have advantage on strength saving throws while you're within 5 feet of the pack. When you move on your turn, you can also move the pack up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space. You can use blah, blah, blah. Whenever the pack moves within 10 feet of a creature you can see, and whenever a creature you can see enters a space within 10 feet of the pack, or ends its turn there, you can force that creature to make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 3d10 slashing damage. A creature makes this save only once per turn.
Great. So,
So I conjure a pack of wolves.
Yep, and you're going to conjure it. You can target the gold one and the silver one. What I'm going to say is, you are either side of a road. You've gone up to the top of a crest. Radian and Elowen are facing the golden one. About 2 paces behind him is the silver one, who's sort of scanning the area. And Dolly has moved around, kind of to the side. You're trying to get round the back. So I would say, with Conjure Animals, you could target both the silver and the gold and force them both to make dex saves.
I don't actually want to target them. I just
Okay.
want to conjure the animals and conjure them kind of behind the 2 Dragonborn.
Okay, yeah.
And just have them like emerge out of the bushes and start snarling at the 2
Right,
Dragonborn.
you can absolutely do that. I tell you what then.
How many can I conjure?
It
doesn't-
I
it
think
doesn't
essentially,
specify.
it would be like a little gang. So I'll say,
A little gang.
they no matter how many you conjure, they will all mechanically do the same amount of damage. It will be 3d10. So I'll say you can conjure 3.
3d10 each.
No. It won't be. You can't. No,
wild.
that would be insane.
I can't do
So what I'm
20
saying, what I'm saying is, think of rather than worrying about the number of animals, think of the spell as an amount of energy and damage,
Okay, cool.
which you can then say, I want it to be 1 big-looking wolf, or I want it to be 3 small wolves. There are limits. You can't say, I want 150,000 wolves.
I want 1 chicken-sized horse.
So you know.
So let's say it's 4 normal-sized wolf.
4.
shapes?
4.
I don't know why 4.
You were right. I mean, I said 3,
24.
but I'll give you 4.
Okay. Oh, you said 3.
I said
I'm
3
sorry, I missed that
times, but we'll go for 4. So I would say
3 is
4
good too.
kind of wolf cubs or 3 adult-looking wolves.
3 adult-looking wolves.
3 adult-looking wolves start to stalk out from spectral creatures behind these dragonborn, and they're going to turn their heads, and I will say this is not how this spell works, but because you're choosing not to do any damage, I'll allow you to roll. I'm assuming you're trying to intimidate, right?
I'm trying to distract.
You're trying to distract. Okay, well that works then. They turn their heads and they are now looking at these spectral wolves. Is there something you would like to do from a distance?
Well, I mean, I thought we were going full combat, so I was ready to
Well, you still can.
Yeah, I mean, Gold is the one who's been taking the lead.
Gold takes the lead.
Yeah.
Silver looks to have a smaller weapon and was in.
Right, don't judge him.
Was subservient.
Yeah.
You recognise now from hearing the voices of these Dragonborn that the Gold was given the instructions even before you could see them. In the
Well, yeah, this is a moment where I've just seen these wolves appear. I know it's Kel. I don't know exactly what he's going to do, but I'm just going to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on the silver one.
On the silver one, great. What does this silver one need to do? Roll a wisdom save, I would assume, or maybe a con save?
For those who, because we kind of want to explain our spells, right? For anyone at home who doesn't.
Yeah, have you used Tasha's before?
No, but
Great.
I have
You
before
have,
to keep knocks and prone. A creature of your choice that you can see within range perceives everything as hilariously funny. These 3 wolves are absolutely hilarious and falls into fits of laughter if this spell affects it. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand up for the duration.
That is a nat 1.
Okay.
And how long is it? What's the duration?
Unable to stand up for the duration. A creature with intention the duration is cast time 1 action up to 1 minute.
Up to 1 minute. Is it concentration?
It is concentration.
Okay, so that's great. So this silver one turns around, see these wolves, bursts into peals of laughter, drops their sword and immediately falls to the ground and starts laughing. And you can hear the golden one in Draconic going, "What are you doing? On your feet!" But it's having absolutely no effect. If we want to do this, shall we everybody roll initiative? I mean, how do you guys want to play this? It's up to you, really.
Can I try one thing first? I'm just gonna look to the gold dragonborn and be like, we killed gods. What chance do you think you have? I suggest you just walk away from this. Cast suggestion.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay.
It's a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, he has a +3 and he rolled an 8 becomes an 11.
It's a fail. So I suggest he walks away from it.
Okay. And he looks at you and he still pulls himself up to his height. He's frightened, but also you've confirmed his suspicions. And it seems to be that
They already knew.
it appeals to his ego as much as it appeals to whatever's frightening him. He says, I knew it. I knew it. And he takes in the 3 of you. You're no longer hidden. I know you weren't technically hidden, you were stealthing, but he sees Ai's head popping over the top of the thing, and he's going to grab his companion by the back of their kind of neck. We will leave. And almost in a sort of, as if compelled against his will, keeps trying to turn his head back to look at you. Can't quite do it. They walk south down the road and you lose sight of them over the crest of the hill.
Is that what we want?
They now
Want to
does
let them
think
go?
that we definitely did it.
I don't know. You tell me. What do we want?
So I stand up out of the brush.
They know who we are.
Yeah, they found someone's diary.
They're going to tell someone. And now they has confirmation of their wrong thoughts.
Look, I don't know. I was just trying to get rid of him.
Where are they?
They are, I would say they're 30 feet away. Like, they have not made any move.
I mean-
yet. They can't move that fast.
As well, Tasha's Hideous Laughter has a 30 feet, so, I mean, I can have concentration and it has a duration of 1 minute, but once he moves out of that 30 feet, is it fine?
No, once he's affected by the spell carries on.
Okay,
He doesn't
cool.
have to stay in the area
Okay, cool.
of effect of the spell.
Just wanted
It
to
says,
double-check.
does it just say range 30 feet?
Yeah, I just wanted to make
that's
sure it
all-
wasn't
that's
like
all-
if he moves out.
That's all that means.
Well, it does not have long before he stops. doing the laughing.
Do we kill them?
I was just trying to help.
60 feet.
Look, let's just get off the road and let's just keep moving. It's too late to make a decision now.
I mean, it's not, but
90 feet.
I cast Call Lightning.
Okay, everybody roll initiative. You get to do that, but everybody roll initiative. Okay. Sick. So anyone get higher than a 20?
Yes.
I got a 20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20?
21.
23.
23.
Which is lucky because my first roll was cocked and was like on a 2.
So that's I, then it's that, then that. Higher than a 15?
18.
Higher than a 10?
I got 17. I thought I did really well.
The
You
worst?
did, but we've all done better.
Oh, wait, oh, bugger.
I swear
Call
to God.
Lightning is a concentration spell.
Yeah.
So is
Yeah.
The wolves are going to go.
so is Conjure Animals.
That's
Well, they
okay.
did their thing.
That's okay. The wolves go, and you call lightning. Read me
The
call
wolves were
lightning.
cool flavour.
Bugger, because the wolves would have been cool.
They would have been cool, but I think if you read the card, this might be better.
I think
This might
calling
be
it
better
the
than
elements.
a sort of situational role play use of a mechanically different spell.
I don't think you're going to be disappointed.
The 3 adult wolves were cool.
Or 3 baby wolves. 4 baby
baby
wolves. For your
wolves.
choice. 4 baby
I blew a third level spell just to distract.
Oh, who hasn't blown a 3rd level spell? I slowed water down. Come on.
Oh, what was and the birds.
Yeah.
Okay, so I call lightning.
So you've got to tell me rather.
So a storm cloud appears at a point I can see above myself. The range is 120 feet.
Yep. A storm cloud appears at a point you can see within range above yourself. It takes the shape of a cylinder that is 10 feet tall with a 60-foot radius.
A lightning bolt shoots from the cloud to a point that I choose. Each creature within 5 feet of that point makes a dex saving throw, taking 3d10 lightning damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one.
Okay. Let me just check incapacitated as well, because I'm not sure if that means they automatically fail a dexterity saving throw. I think it possibly does. Incapacitated, no, it just says can't take actions or reactions. So they're both going to roll dexterity saving throws. Let me just do that quick.
Against my save DC? 16.
That is a 14, becomes a 15, and a 6, which becomes a 6. So they both fail.
So they both
roll
take
3d10.
3d10s.
Just to say, the silver one rolls a wisdom saving throw upon taking damage to see if they break free of Tasha's
Great,
hideous
thank you
laughter.
so much. I will do that now. They roll an 8, which becomes, with their modifier, an 8.
No.
Okay.
It's a 13 they need to beat.
So is it just 3d10 or is it 3d10 each?
3d10, and they both take it.
Okay. 10, 14, 17. Each.
17, absolutely. Great. That is Ai's turn. One is still incapacitated, shrieking with laughter. The golden one looks up to the sky. Does seeming end when a creature that you're friendly with?
This is the weirdest day they've ever had.
Yeah, it really is.
Wolves and lightning storms. And...
Also, is
Not
there any
seeming, sorry, suggestion.
Yeah.
is there any kind of surprise to this? So with sneak attack advantage, or are we just gonna? Is it?
Yes, I will say you do get that because one's incapacitated, doesn't know what's happening. The other one thought you were friendly. So I will say, yeah, this counts as surprise or advantage.
If you or any of your companions damage the target, the spell ends.
Okay, so the spell has just ended,
Yep.
but I'll say we're moving quickly enough. You know, you rolled very high, so I'll say this time around you do get it.
Okay, great. Then yeah, I'm gonna take a shot with my crossbow
At
gold.
gold. At golden horn.
I mean, yeah, that is a 20. My brain is not doing that's 27.
Let me consult it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So my 1d8 plus 6.
Is this the first shot with the new crossbow?
Yes.
Hey.
I think so, is it?
Is it? Yeah, the first shot in anger.
Yeah.
First shot in anger with
Yeah.
the one that Quincy fixed for you.
Was it?
Oh, no.
No.
You used it against Iago.
Yeah, Iago, yeah.
That went great as well.
So that's a 7 plus the 6.
Which is 13.
And then I'm going to do
Memories.
all 3. I'm not going to use
Yep.
any attack. I'm going to
Yep.
do all 3 sneak attack. And that is 5 plus 2, so 7 plus 3 is another 10.
Another 10. Okay. That is Kelnis's turn.
Can I?
Sorry,
my
that's
bonus
not you,
action.
actually.
I would like to use my. I would like to click my heels.
Bonus action. That is your bonus action.
Where's my D10 gone? Where's my D10 gone?
Give the man a D10.
There we go.
Oh, sorry.
6.
Yep, so you have 6 rounds.
I would like to use my bonus action to try and move around and hide. Kind of, if they are down the road 12 o'clock from us, I want to get round to about 10 o'clock in the
Okay.
in the bushes.
So I'm going to say I said they were 90 feet away.
Yep.
Your clickety
Okay,
clicks
yeah.
speed gives you doubles your speed.
Yeah, so 60.
That means you can move 60.
So can I try and get to about, as I want to try and hide at about 7 o'clock from them?
Yep, no worries. Roll a stealth check.
Yeah, that's 28.
28, does it. Elowen, your turn.
Gonna notch an arrow.
Yep. At beefy or at silver
Gold.
Silver laughy?
Gold.
Gold beefy.
That's a natural 20, so that is a crit as well.
What was really pleasing there was
2d10
it
plus
started to roll away from the 20 and let round it back on it.
So sorry, actually,
My longbow is
longbow's
a D8
so
plus
it's
3.
2d8.
2d8 plus 3. Oof, that's not good. So that's only 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 in total.
8 in total. That's 8 in total. I'm actually going to take my second shot as well. And at the same time, I can actually take 15 feet of movement as well.
Great.
In addition, so I'm actually going to start moving towards them.
Okay, so they are now 75 feet from you.
Cool, and that is that's a 15.
Okay, hit, does not hit.
That is fine. But that attack will also slow him.
Okay, so slow is reduces 10 feet of
10 feet of movement speed as well.
Great.
I've taken my full, by the way, I'll take a full 45 feet of movement towards him if I can.
Great, so you're now 45 feet from them.
Yeah.
So that is now Kelnis's turn.
With Call Lightning, I've already cast the spell.
Yeah.
It lasts for up to 10 minutes. I don't have to recast it to do this, but it does say that until the spell ends, you can take a magic action.
Yep.
It's just an action, isn't it?
Yeah, so essentially it says rather than doing anything else, you can just continue a spell that's already going.
Yeah, so I'll do that, and I'll cast, and I'll send another bolt of lightning down to a point
which hits
within 5 feet of both of them.
Well, because to be honest, he's dragging the other one, so he has to be within 5 feet of him. He's touching him. So
I'll just hit him.
that is a 3 for the little silver one, and that is an 11 for the beefy one.
Both fail.
Both fail, so both will take 3d10.
And he needs to roll a 13 or higher for wisdom saving on...
11 with no modifiers.
So that's 14 each.
14 each. You guys watch as this second lightning bolt screeches down from the sky, slams into a point between these Dragonborn, and the golden one just drops, falls dead. The only one remaining is now this laughy silver chap, who still hasn't broken free of Tasha's hideous laughter. And Elowen and I, from where you can see that he's like looking at the body, and it's like there's a disconnect between what he's seeing and what's happening to him. Like his eyes are widening, but he's just laughing and laughing and laughing. That is Dolly's turn.
I guess I'm just gonna walk towards him and be like, I was lying before, by the way, people who walk around shirtless on the road for no good reason. So annoying, and just cast Dissonant Whispers.
What's the range on Dissonant Whispers?
It's 60 feet.
Yep, you can do that because you're 90 feet, so you take 30 feet of movement and
Yeah,
bang
it's
on
a
it.
wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Not much luck for him so far. That's a 9, becomes a 9.
Yeah, that's a fail. 3d6 psychic damage. 6, 7, 8.
8. He's still alive, but not looking great. He rolls another wisdom saving throw. That's another 6. This guy has not rolled above an 11. That is Radiant's turn. There's this one laughing silver dragonborn on the floor.
Yeah. I'll do. I'll cast Chromatic Orb
At level...
at level 1.
Great. Make a ranged spell attack.
Like it's 20 odd something.
Hits. He has an AC of 16.
Yeah.
Roll your damage. 3d8.
I'm gonna get another
You're gonna use a new one.
Oh.
D8 as well.
I like these new ones.
D8. There we go.
You insist on like not using our set, but you use the original set of bronze.
Chromatic Orb.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the thing about Chromatic Orb is you
Yep.
roll 3 d8, and if you get the same number twice,
Yep.
the orb bounces.
This is the new version.
This is the new Virgin, yeah. Virgin.
You are the new version. I think Radiant is the new version.
So that's just 10 damage,
Yep.
but I got 2 3s.
Okay. So what happens is, I'm gonna level with you. It takes the guy you target down to 1 HP,
Yeah.
and then almost out of spite, you watch this orb go and bounce into the body of the golden one, and it's almost like it briefly reanimates him, and his arms come up and like clap above his head, and then go back down again. Unless you want to target someone else,
I want to target the same guy who's down to 1 HP.
you can't target us. It's the a different
target
a different
Elohim.
within 30 feet.
Doesn't go well for you.
Yeah. And also, like, he didn't know. I quite like the idea that he didn't know that was going to happen.
No, absolutely. He's completely baffled by this. He's never seen it happen before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would totally believe that you wouldn't know that it could do that.
Guys, did anyone see that?
He's already dead.
That is his turn. He has 1 HP.
Oh, God love him.
He needs to be at 13.
Yep.
Roll a 12.
He's into the double digits now.
Okay.
Are we coming round to my turn?
It is your turn now.
I feels like he's committed a war crime. Like, honestly, I is there going, my God, he's stood laughing at his friend's dead body. I'm just going to step up and in the most simple way possible, I'm just going to unarmed strike punch him.
Yeah, just punch him to death.
Yeah.
Make it.
His little tiny claw hand.
So that is going to be unarmed strike. I think is just strength modifier with a
It's so embarrassing if
d20.
you fail this.
Let me
I've
check
got unarmed
that that's
strike, I've got
correct.
hit DC +4.
Yeah, okay. Make an unarmed strike.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
You're just torturing the poor guy.
7.
Okay. You hit him, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. Your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus, yeah. On a hit, you would have taken 1 bludgeoning damage. As is, he just goes,
That's just cruel.
Elowen.
I looks at his hands.
Elowen, that's your turn.
Yeah, so I'm going to put this guy up with misery, and I'm going to notch an arrow,
Yeah.
and that is an 18.
Okay. Just tell me about it.
I'm just baffled by what's happened. The last 2 minutes have just been some of the dumbest shit we've done. So it is just notch an arrow with a sigh and just let it loose. I just want to end whatever this absolute chaos that we've managed to create. Because there's now lightning strikes, there's scorched earth, there's bouncing orbs, everyone's laughing. You've tickled him and done nothing.
And then you send an arrow straight through him, and with his last breath, he goes,
Oh my
and dies.
God.
And we will take a little break.
Like fish in a barrel.
That was
Like
mean.
fish in a
so
barrel that could be thrown at a person to knock over a cliff.
Hi, I'm Aoife Wilson, the personification of what would happen if the spirit of a Dickensian street urchin haunted the body of a 90s supermodel. Other than having a disturbing interest in the frightening reality of a parrot's tongue, seriously, look it up, and a deep obsession with ranking the configurations of my D&D group's likelihood of surviving various apocalyptic scenarios, I also have a great passion about something that I wanted to talk to you about today, a subject that is very close to my heart. The historically inconvenient disease, scurvy. Look, I hate to break it to you, it's back. And now I'm told, for legal reasons, it never left. As a person who's had scurvy 5 times in the past month alone, I know what an annoying hindrance it could be to rolling that perfect D20, and also to minor improv. Like you, I've been there. My maritime duties have finally come to an end, but I just can't shake the scurv. What's worse is that I've got game night coming up with the squad, and the last thing they want to deal with is a scurved up mean girl with nothing but a limp wrist, easy ladies, a flammable Primarch blouse, easy Ben, and a dream. But I tell you what works to truly keep Dr. Scurv at bay. Today's sponsor, lemons. Better yet, 2 lemons. Dare I say 3? No, I'm kidding, of course. Swallowing 3 lemons in a fit of medically induced passion is decidedly unattractive in today's economy. That's the kind of act that will get you thrown out of even the seediest of Whole Foods. 2 lemons is just the ticket. And I recognize that many of you have already been mainlining limes for years. I mean, why wouldn't you? That's what mainstream media wanted you to believe. Limes are sexy. Big Lime thought they had it all wrapped up, but not on my watch. Read my mouth. Limes are for losers. So do yourself a favor. Buy a lemon today, and don't just shift your scurv. Look like an absolute badass while doing it. Lemons. Limes with the training wheels off. Ugh.
And we're back! I wonder what was advertised today. Perhaps it was something awful that Ben said. Maybe something about his...
Oh no,
his penis.
This one's not. This one's
Butt cream.
no. This one's like it is not about.
Oh, really?
Oh, you know what? Might be the best ad we've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're
The first time anyone's got an assist on an ad.
we're very, very close when we're filming this to this going out. This is one of the closest we've ever been to running out of episodes.
Cool, that sounds fun.
So I know, that's why I know what this one is.
Great.
And the BTS for this is fantastic. So join the Patreon because you want to see the BTS for this ad. It's stupid.
It was
Like
silly
everything
stuff.
we do.
It was
Silly stuff.
it was super dumb. Speaking of which,
Speaking of super dumb,
we are out of combat. You have just killed these 2 members of the Fortis Legion.
We probably shouldn't hang around here for too long. Why don't we just dump these in the ditch and keep going?
Yeah, we should hide these bodies.
can I check their pockets for anything?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Roll me an investigation check.
Can I do the same?
Yes,
I mean,
you can both roll, and whichever one of you gets highest will be the investigation
it's not
check.
gonna be me.
Well, actually his investigation's pretty good because he's good at
Yeah.
everything normally.
14.
Yeah, I got a 7.
Okay, so you kind of you kind of double up on searching the bodies. So like Elwyn does you get the weapons with a 7, you can kind of move their weapons away. And then Kellis actually goes in and really starts to look at what they have. And you find a few things. You find 96 gold between both of their coin purses. And you find a written letter which is signed Segavax, Gallant of the Fortis Legion. And it tells this, you can assume the golden one, it was in their pack, who was called Polonius, to cover the reflection stone with a placard, which is what you caught them in the act of doing. And then the other thing that you find in the pack of the silver one, they kind of left their packs leaning up against this stone. And the placard said, no water, however deep, can extinguish the light that lives. And what you find is you find written descriptions of yourselves. Leaflets which contain written descriptions of you and your names that look like they're going to be handed out to the population.
Can you do something about that?
What does they say?
It's best for us if these don't get handed out.
I just want to point down and cast Firebolt.
Great.
On the...
And you incinerate all of these leaflets. And a little wind picks up and those kind of burning, blacking curls that kind of smoke and embers, like when you kind of blow on newspaper in a fire and it all goes up into the air and kind of drifts.
I look at Donnie and just go,
This was what you meant.
Yes. Yeah. No, great. No! This, great.
Can I go look at the stone?
Yeah. The stone looks to be like a memorial stone. for sailors who've been lost to the inland sea. And it says, into the mists to never return. Now they are at peace.
Gonna tear that placard off and just fling it.
These cannot have been the only flyers that have gone out. The Fortis Legion are looking for us.
Yeah.
Specifically.
We got lucky for a while, it was just our names, but when 5 people of our description walk in, I don't think it's gonna matter whatever name we give.
It's not our fault we're devastatingly attractive. We're just gonna, get noticed wherever we go, but...
Yeah, yes we are. Cavalius has a lot to answer for, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Let's just keep moving for now. I don't know, maybe try not to murder again for until lunchtime at least.
Do you really keep a diary?
Yeah, I like to write.
Yeah, you might want to keep it on.
I say nice things about you all.
I don't believe that for a
You
second.
can have a read.
I don't want to read it. That's
When
already causing
someone
enough
reads
problem.
about me,
We will
do I?
start teaching you how to read. We will. I will.
Go on, what does it say about I?
Opens it.
I sits down.
Cross-legged, school assembly style.
I got into the hammock last night. I thought it was going to be strange, and it was strangely nice. It's nice to have someone around that you can actually hug. There you go, that's it.
I remembers that.
You're on the hammock with it.
And it was nice.
Right, great. Can we move?
Okay.
So,
Just punched a man.
so
No,
I,
you didn't punch a man. That's the problem.
I just kind of went,
So I
Like
kind of,
punching someone in a dream. You know? Sorry,
I
Cal.
kind of nod to Ellie and suggest that we drag these bodies off. Ellie, I just called you Ellie.
That's cute. No, you're allowed to call me. I told you can call me Ellie. That's fine.
That we drag these bodies off
we take one
into
each.
the
You put them in the bracken. Put
Yeah,
them
in the undergrowth,
Covered
yeah.
by the. Yeah.
While they're
absolutely.
doing that, I'm gonna so what have you said about Kel?
I watched as they carried the... Sorry, what?
As they carried the bodies of the 2 members of the Fortis Legion we had just killed and buried them on the undergrowth 5 yards from the park that leads north to the town, not far from the Sailors' Memorial Site.
Fully complete ledger
It
of our
was
crimes.
Elvis who made the first blow.
Traveling with a bunch of idiots.
What did I say about Kel? Just some stuff.
What?
We don't have time for this. I'll do it another time.
They're burying bodies, so we have some time.
Improv's hard, man. Whatever, it's hard improv is.
He keeps looking everywhere. I can't sneak around. It's infuriating. I'm trying to be extra sneaky, but he keeps opening his eyes. One point, I tried to get some water in the middle of the night, and I swear he was looking at me. It's incredibly uncomfortable. Like, it's almost as if he sleeps with his eyes open.
Wouldn't be so bad if you weren't doing weird stuff all the time.
I'm not doing weird stuff, I'm getting water.
Are you guys being weird?
One of us is.
Why is my nose twitching?
Just keep the book on you if you're going to write everything that we do in it.
I don't write everything, just things that I find
I
interesting.
know, we
Like
already
our
talked
names.
about it, remember?
I didn't know that we were suddenly going to become these people that we're not allowed to even be in this world. Like, I just write things that I like.
Yes, and I'm saying that's great, but maybe don't leave it out for people to find.
I didn't leave it out, they investigated.
You let them.
This is the first time you knew about this book.
No, it's not actually, because we had a deep and meaningful
I know
conversation.
you did, but they didn't know.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're going to keep on writing stuff down, and that's fine, by the way, just keep it on your person.
I
Don't
think I'm
give
just
it to
being
people.
persecuted for having thoughts and feelings.
You don't have feelings.
You want to be persecuted so bad.
I do.
know.
I do have feelings. Here's a passage. I felt sad today. I felt like I was rude to Indelian/Eloin.
Apparently. We need to get off this road, please.
All right, fine. I'm just saying.
I think it's nice that you keep a journal.
I've
did you say
started
about
walking.
me?
I've started walking. They'll follow.
They will. Mm-hmm. And eventually they do. And you continue on the road north. And the rest of the day, you pass through a couple of those little markets that you went through before. If anyone wants to try and purchase something, you're very welcome to.
No more fish.
No more fish.
No more fish.
If not, you keep walking until...
I just keep keeping an eye out for
Toffee
toffee apples. Just
roll me a luck check.
You're so
12.
casual.
12. He can't read.
no.
So I can't do a pun.
Do it anyway.
Coffee apples. He was going to have coffee apples.
No, he's not.
Not like,
No, he is not.
so with a 12, you see what look like they might be toffee apples, but smaller on one of these stalls.
Ideal. Right sizes for the mouth, for my mouth.
And there is an orc selling these, like a quite a young orc.
Okay. I have some gold in my pack, and I am just going to take 1 gold.
Gold.
Yep, and just walk up holding it like this.
All right, how are you doing? What can I do for you?
I will takes. I doesn't know the numbers.
Is that's gold, is it?
If you says.
I'm going. Roll me a luck check for how honest this orc is.
11.
11. Okay, that'll get you 5. That will get you 5 of these.
I don't know how many 5 is.
He points at 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Did anyone
Taps
see
5
Nye?
of them.
Where's he gone?
Everyone roll perceptions.
Slow-mo coin.
Natural 20.
Okay. You see,
I'm ready to fuck this orc.
you see, like it's like watching someone slowly put their hand in an electrical socket with a wet finger, or like someone a toaster and a fork just slowly moving down.
Aye, stop it. What's going on here? What are you buying? What are you buying? Are you buying these?
He wanted to buy some of the onions.
Some of the onions.
With
Aoife,
a dirty 20,
Yeah.
I'm going to scoot up. But while Dolly sort of...
Yeah.
Now
you
I'm-
still get there in plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm literally going to take I's hand and lower it.
Kel and Radiant, what'd you get?
I got a 10. I'm probably looking at some elfin woman on the other side of the market.
Jeez.
I don't know. She's cute. I don't know. I like the way she's braided her hair.
I got a 17.
You clock this as well, and not as quickly as Dolly and Elowen, but you are immediately aware that I is just sort of proffering out a gold coin to someone whose entire stall, including its fixtures and fittings, is not worth a gold coin. It wanted to buy a couple of
A couple of?
Well, I mean, he said, that's a gold. I'm sorry. I thought that was a copper.
Did you?
Onion.
I did.
Did you? Do you like tricking people?
I've not tricked anything.
Listen, game recognizes game. Don't try it.
Right, I said he could have 5.
5 for a gold piece.
I know, but if he'd not known the value of anything, I actually think I could have said 1.
And you can sleep at night, can you?
Yes, deeply, on a feather bed.
Uh-huh. Knowing that you're scamming people?
Surrounded by onions.
Well, let's go to sleep and see if you wake up in the morning. We're leaving.
He can have 6.
He can have 1 for free for that attitude.
He can have 1 for a copper.
No, he can have 1 for free.
I will not be intimidated. I will not be dictated to. You will not steal from me. I will call the Legion.
Onion.
You know what? Didn't want it anyway.
Well, more's the pity.
I now kind of getting a sense that he was being deceived.
Yes. Roll me insight with disadvantage, but it will be quite... you are not good at this.
It was a nat 1.
And that one, okay. Okay. If you'll allow me, you are deeply concerned that Dolly's read this person wrong.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay.
I tried, my friend. I truly did.
You stop talking. We're leaving. Grab him by the
Sorry.
scruff of the neck.
Yeah, I'm more like with one hand pulling him away. Like, we're not doing this.
Sorry.
Not as sorry as I am.
Or you will be.
I go over to him and I go, This is going in my book.
Wonderful. You continue to pass through these marketplaces, a couple of them, until you eventually arrive at the most northeasterly point of Seren. And you can just make out there's one of the main islands in Seren is called Alone, and that's obscured by the mist, but you can just make out the edges of the sort of smaller, nameless islands that sit around it. And there is a really quite sort of decent sized tavern in front of you, called Water's Watch. It was the name I might have erroneously called it Water's Edge earlier, but it's
I
called.
did write Water's Edge, so
Yeah.
maybe. Then I
then very much used the other name later, so it's called both, depending on. It's like Lath and Lathy, you know. It's
local or a tourist.
It was called Water's Edge for a long time. It's now under new management. It's called Water's
It's
Watch.
like that time Pizza Hut changed to Pasta Hut for a bit.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And everyone was fun with that.
really-
When Cocoa Pops was Choco Krispies for a little bit.
Oh my god, that was huge.
It was huge.
What were they thinking?
I don't know. I don't know why you change a winning
Starburst
formula.
has got to be like the only one that's stuck from Opal Fruits. to
Snickers, baby.
Starburst.
Snickers, baby.
Snickers from Marathon, yeah.
Snickers was a marathon.
Good and important.
Yeah. Good and you join us here today.
And you see, it's a quite kind of sprawling tavern, almost like almost more like the size of. It's the sort of size of the orange tree in Baroon. It's really quite big.
Can I suggest that we go hoods up? If those two Legion Dragonborn knew who we were, there could be Fortis Legion inside the tavern.
Why don't I go in and have a look first? I'll go in and have a look.
Okay. Roll me perception check as you head in. Are you stealthing in?
No.
Okay. Roll me perception as you head in.
Okay.
Or actually, you are looking specifically for Fortis Legion, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you could roll an investigation.
It's the same.
Okay.
18.
18. So you're looking out for, like, the outfits of the Fortis. Essentially, you're looking for big,
Burly dragon.
burly dragonborn. And you see one. Mm-hmm. You see one sat in the corner by himself, picking at a plate of bread and some cold meats and drinking from a large bowl of soup. He has a cloak on, and you sort of sneak a look down kind of where he's sat. Mm-hmm. He's not wearing kind of blue and gold in the Fortis Legion. He looks like he's big enough to be in the Fortis Legion, but there's nothing to indicate that he's a member. He has silver dragonborn patches of gold, one sort of a tear, like something's been bitten out of his ear.
He's sitting by himself?
He's sitting by himself.
Okay.
But other than that, you just see the normal mix of travellers and staff that you would see in a tavern.
I'm gonna go up to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be like, any rooms available?
It's like a big, sort of burly female dragonborn, bronze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Has it been, looks sort of quiet-ish in here today?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
Been all right, yeah. You'll
Any-
have better days, had worse.
Any Legion been round at all?
She rolled very high on an insight.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking to hide from the Legion.
Just don't want to have a run-in, you know? Like, they're just really quite irritating.
You're right. Yeah, made things difficult for us here as well.
Well, we had them in Vale, you know?
Come from Vale, have you? Are they still? I don't know how to put this.
Placards and stuff, yeah.
And are you, I don't. I want to tread lightly here, but are your lot still all in black and singing your songs? You don't seem to be.
No, but, you know, it's...
I'm not saying you've not been through a lot. I don't mean to be.
We've all been through a lot.
Yeah, we have, and people do these things differently. By the gods, I've seen enough change. And
There's only so much wearing black that you can do before you're like, do you know what? I'm just gonna keep on keeping on.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. No, we've had no Legion in here. Not since they came past. Week ago, perhaps heading toward Vale.
Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna go take in the town a little bit, but you don't think there's gonna be booked out or anything later? We can come back.
You'll be all right.
Okay.
Look, how many of you are there?
4.
4. All right. Well, I can make sure.
Okay.
I'll put 4 aside, and if you're not here by the time night falls, then
Okay.
I'll offer it out.
Thanks.
My name's Ash.
Pamela.
Pamela. Good to meet you.
I'm gonna head back outside. Like, I say maybe sleep al fresco tonight. They say there hasn't been Legion around, but I don't know.
But we just saw 2 of them.
Yeah, can always change.
Who is Al?
Outside under the stars, you know.
Al is here?
It's a whole. Well, let's stick to until you really have learned the metaphors, and then we'll move on to whatever that is.
Strangely, I understands that I does not understand.
And that is the first step towards learning.
I has learned.
I think outside is probably a good idea.
Yeah. It might be okay.
It'll be very cold.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that it will be very cold. You can't sleep outside in winter on the shores of the sea without a fire. So you will have to either go if you're trying to be completely hidden, you'll have to find some kind of natural shelter. Not an issue, but you'll just have to do that. You won't be able to just pitch a tent in a field.
We can be discreet. I don't really sleep anyway. Well, I don't. Let's go inside. It's too dangerous to sleep outside.
Okay, just maybe let's keep watch anyway.
I will promise to watch the door.
Okay.
So you're going to go in the tavern? Okay. So you make your way into Water's Watch. Everyone who, I mean, you've already been in, but you can do it again if you like, but everyone roll perception checks. I'm guessing that you've kind of got your eyes peeled as you head in. Dolly?
19.
I?
7. Perception, right?
Yeah, and Elowen?
19.
19?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20?
18.
18, yeah. You, after the incident on the road, you guys are alert and ready for action, and no action is forthcoming. People are playing cards, playing dice,
Carving spoons.
but people are, this would be a place where you might spend, in different times, people might have even holidayed here in the summer. It's quite a nice establishment. There are families. It doesn't feel like it has a febrile atmosphere, and there's nothing that strikes you as heads swinging, heads kind of turning on swivels towards the door when anyone walks in.
I'd like to investigate I'd like to do an investigation of the area and just see if there are any remains of or residue of any web logos been etched into anything in the area.
That's a great question. Roll me an investigation check.
14.
Where are you looking?
I think it's kind of like when you looking on kind of like the frames of doors or just kind of like underneath tables and things. It's almost like he's running his hands over, subtly trying to just kind of like see if there's anything there.
I will say that to the as you enter, there's a booth to your left with almost like pew style seating, benches with high backs and flat arms, and you run your hand over with the arms and you feel ridges.
Yeah.
And you look down and it's a web symbol, but it's a completed web symbol. And it's old. You can tell it's been there for a while. So when you saw Casper, it was half the web symbol, which looked to have been freshly carved. This is an old completed one.
That's good. That's good. That's just a thing that I like to think that Radian does whenever he goes into most places.
Great. So you're heading into the bar, right? You've headed in. Where are you going? What are you going to do? Sit, take a drink? Do you want to get a room? You want to eat?
I think I'll go back up to the same and be like...
To Ash?
Yep, to Ash and be like... So, yeah, I think we'll be taking that room after all.
You said 4 of you?
Yeah, I know, but he doesn't... it's a long story. He doesn't need a bed, so he sleeps under the bed. I mean, we'll still pay for him, but he doesn't quite count.
Well, you pay for the room, you know? You don't need to pay for a... No, that's fine. It's 3 silver.
That's fine.
Make yourself comfortable. If you want something to eat.
Yeah.
You got soup. We got soup on. Stews.
Soup sounds good.
As you say, soup sounds good. You kind of scan around the room, kind of trying to see if you can see the soup, and you see the dragonborn that Dolly spotted earlier, drinking from a bowl of soup, bread and cold cuts next to him. And as you look over, he's looking at you. And he sort of subtly tries to gesture for you to come over.
Oh, shit.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Roll me history. You don't know. You don't know.
I'll be right back.
I'm sort of going to move myself so I'm sort of near and watching, but
So-
separate from the rest of you.
I kind of pull myself up and I try to look casual. Walk towards this dragonborn.
And as you do, he says, in Draconic, sit down, act casual.
My draconic isn't great, so I probably hear something like...
You hear sit down, actishal. Sit down, actishal.
Okay. I sit down.
He hands a plate to you and you hear, Lickley, eat some bread. Pretend that we're friends or something. And as you start to... This you hear completely clearly. He says, Kellis?
Do I know you?
You're not... Well, I think I know you. It's Doas. Doas from...
Doas.
He looks a little embarrassed and says, It's many years ago. You are with those whose eyes are stars in... No. You got out.
Sort of.
I got out of the Legion.
You were in the Legion?
There was... Roll me history with advantage. 5. You don't remember this guy, but you do remember years ago, and he explains this to you, that it was maybe 25 years ago. You were a scout for the Web, because you travelled far and wide, and the Web were potentially going to do some stuff for the Legion, some surveillance. And you were brought in as part of the group that were going to surveil. And he says, I only remember because it was unusual to see another Dragonborn. It's fanciful that you would have remembered me. I mean, there were 5 or 6 of us. But I often wondered what had led you in there. And now I hear.
What have you heard?
What everyone's heard, friend. What everyone's heard.
Well, everyone in this room.
Everyone in the world, I would think, has heard your name.
Of course. I'm sorry I don't remember you.
No, please, it was fanciful for me to imagine that you would. Where are you going?
To the Sanctum. Probably stupidly. Now that I think of it.
Sanctum, what could you possibly want there?
I've forgotten his name.
Who's the dude we're going to see?
You want to find Parvis.
Parvis. We are hoping to speak with Parvis.
You will enter the Sanctum itself.
We don't... maybe. We don't have a plan yet. Our goal is the Sanctum and Parvis.
When were you last there?
25 years ago.
What hope do you have of walking in? You know, it's changed. Even since I left.
How did you get out of the Legion?
I refuse to follow orders I do not believe are virtuous. That are not just. The Legion has changed in the past months, and I'll have no part of it.
So you left recently?
I walked away. What can they do? Look for a dragon?
How do you walk away from the Legion?
Same way you walked away from the web, I would imagine.
I would like you to meet my friends.
Oh, I would be happy to meet your friends.
I look over to where they are and I just kind of give a little nod and beckon them over.
Yeah,
Hello.
Missy, nice to meet you.
It's okay. He knows.
What do you mean he knows?
He knows.
Kellis and I have known each other. Well, Kellis has not known me, but I've remembered Kellis from a long time ago.
The web?
In a way.
His name is Doas.
Hello, Doas. Can we... Is this okay?
Look, if you... And he explains the circumstances by which they met. That he was a member of the Fortis Legion, he's left, and that Kellis, 25, 30 years ago, was a member of the web. The Legion were going to do some, maybe work with the web. It was unusual to see another Dragonborn. He's remembered him.
Oh, okay. Well, this is serendipitous. What brings you back here?
I'm heading south. Turning away.
Well, don't head towards the Vale if you're trying to avoid the Fortis Legion.
Doas knows that we are heading for the Sanctum.
You cannot hope to get in without a member of the Legion, or at least someone familiar with the Sanctum.
Doas, you say you've left the Legion. Do they know that you've left the Legion?
They know I've not reported.
For how long?
A week.
Doas, what do you need?
What do I need? I need to get away. I need to get away. I need to start again. I need to find something. I thought I'd head for Baroon, perhaps.
Could you maybe delay that plan by a few days?
Why?
We could use your help.
You'd have me go.
You said it yourself. We can't get in there without someone who's familiar with Legion.
I know that we cannot cross the lake without a member of the Legion, or at the very least, a Dragonborn.
I'm no sailor. You would need to find a sailor.
I think I know one.
Well, then we have everything we need.
There's gold in it for you.
How much?
How much do you need?
How much do we have?
I start rummaging in it.
I just took 96 gold off 2 dead Dragonborn.
With 500, I could start again.
You get us inside the Sanctum, and I'll give you 500 gold so that you can start again. You get us safely inside the Sanctum.
And I can tell you where there's toffee apples.
I can tell you where there's toffee onions. Down the way. They're dreadful.
See?
Allow me to sleep on it. Yeah, I wouldn't walk back into
Sure.
the fire having only just emerged. But I'm glad to see that you are, well, the 5 of you. You'll find many. I'm sure you know that already. You'll find many who do not believe what we heard from them.
It's a real mixed bag.
The Legion is utterly in thrall to Barabask.
For what it's worth, we did not kill the gods.
With the greatest of respect, if there was one capable of killing the gods, we would have known their names long before the murders were committed. Something has happened, something strange.
Of Carvilius.
Carvilius is... And he looks... When he talks about Barabask, he looks angry. When he talks about Carvilius, he looks sad, in the broadest possible terms. She's tainted by something somehow.
People committed to the idea of justice need something to follow. And being without gods all of a sudden, I'm sure it was a great comfort to find someone who was ready to step in and fill that role, no matter how self-serving they might be.
No, but it's more than that. She was fading. She was fading when she returned. And then it was as though there was life, but a different kind of life. She's not herself.
We've seen them fade. The Antiqua. We watched one die right in front of us.
Who?
Gronoff.
A good one.
The best one so far.
Well, at the height of her powers, I like to think. Well, anyway. Another time.
Well, if you want to see Carvilius back to the way they were, then we need to figure out what it is the Sinless one is up to. And you getting us inside the Sanctum is probably the best shot we've got at figuring out what's happened.
I'll meet with you in the morning and I'll have you a decision for you. There's cold cuts and there's quite a lot, actually. They're quite big portions.
Well, I know one Dragonborn who won't turn that down.
I've been casually reaching forward and dragging a piece of bologna towards me.
And he looks at you and he says, says to you, Kellis, I'm glad I found you. Strange. But I haven't been able to shake you from my mind. Something foolish, probably, but you never looked like you suited where you were. You didn't. You look better now than you did 30 years ago.
A lot has happened.
And he gestures to his ear that has like a really clear bite mark that's taken like a big chunk of it. Well, for us all.
It's been a long time since I felt that I belonged anywhere. Perhaps that is what you saw in me.
A restlessness.
When you met me, I was young. I was foolish sometimes. I was hurt. I was hurting.
And it hurt others, I wouldn't wonder, along the way.
Came with the job.
Yeah, it always does.
Why have you remembered me? Our task was brief.
You were briefly the talk of the Sanctum. A dragonborn, wily, knowledge of the world, and gestures to your scales. Golden. Not many of us have such pure heritage. And he gestures to the scales on him, silver with patches of gold. And you remember that on the leader of the two that you fought with, gold with patches of silver. You are gold. The chosen, the blood of the chosen fourscore does not keep its luster that easily. It's diluted fast. And yet with you, it has remained.
What are you saying?
How many Dragonborn have you come into contact with, Kellis?
A few.
You're a rare breed. Golden. All gold. And to see someone with as obvious ties to the Legion as your bloodline must have, not part of it, and not only not part of it, but not... I mean, the only one I know is Segovax who has a luster like that. It's unusual. It's like learning that a king works as a cobbler.
I do not know my heritage.
Well, I think it may be quite the story if you ever found out.
It is a story I have some fear to discover.
Those first steps into the wide world require the most bravery and are the most terrifying, I find. It took me a week to get here. I stopped in Seascale, and then somewhere else in Seascale, and every step was further than I'd ever been. We used to force march this way in half a day, and something kept calling me back, I suppose, and well, perhaps I have unfinished business with the Sanctum.
It is good that we met then.
It really is. Well, I won't keep you.
Are you finished with the cold cuts?
No, have the cold cuts. I fear I might need my rest tonight.
I'd say the same for all of us. I wouldn't be hanging around down here.
No. Maybe an early night's probably not a bad shot.
And Doas heads up towards the back of the tavern and up a set of stairs.
There's a short silence at the table, and then Kellis says, "You heard me say that I do not know my heritage. I do not know from whence I came. had a mother and a father, but they were not dragonborn. I do not know who I am.
They never told you?
I do not think they knew. All I have from my true parentage is this necklace, this charm around my neck. And I'm fingering a little silver pendant on a silver chain around my neck.
Do you want to know where you came from?
Part of me does. I do. Part of me is frightened at what it might mean.
Doesn't mean anything. It's blood. Who you are that's where you came from. Your parents that raised you.
And they were wonderful.
So there's nothing to worry about.
I was abandoned. I do not know why. When I was abandoned, I was unborn. I was still in the shell. My father found me. That is all I know.
Even if you never know more than that, you are who you are. Where you came from before that, it matters about as much as you want it to matter.
But we go to the Sanctum. And see scale from where all Dragonborn originally come. I do not know what awaits me there.
You know what? Sometimes you just gotta come out from behind the hinge.
That's funny, Radian. I would laugh. Ha ha.
I've been waiting like 3 minutes to say it, and I had to wait until there was a break. Just wanted to say it.
There is truth to what you say. I shall be unhinged.
Great.
Unhinged on 3. Hand in.
No.
I's hand goes in. Dolly's hand goes in.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Elwyn's hand goes in.
3, 2, 1.
Unhinged. 3, 2, 1. Counting. Okay.
Yeah. Backwards, though.
Backwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
He also said on 3, which is really tricky for somebody who has no numeracy skills. 3 and unhinged. I'm going to say the rest of the evening, unless anyone wants to do anything, is passed with you eating, drinking, and then
I read my book.
finding your own reading your book.
Here we go.
Go on. Go on.
10.
Go on. So your constitution modifier
No, +1.
increases to a +1, so your score increases by 2. I am almost certain that you've rolled lower than that and failed, but you've had enough rolls, I think. You spent enough time with the book that technically the DC dropped by 3 every time I set the DC.
Oh, man.
Yeah. No, I'm very happy with that. So what that means is you gain 1 HP for every level that you are now.
Oh, my God.
So retrospectively, you now gain 6 HP.
How much HP do you have?
8 now. She has 8.
Well, I had 33, so now I guess.
I now have the lowest HP.
It's about right.
So I wake up in the morning and I'm like,
She's beefy as hell. She looks like a member of the Fortis Legion.
This is your Peter Parker moment with the glasses
I know.
going, I can see better without them now.
So you rest that night. Roll me a wisdom saving throw, Cal.
9.
9. As you sleep, you try to bring back that memory at the top of the tree. And the sky was amethyst and gold that night. And you look down at your own hand, and your hand is not your hand. It's smooth-skinned, no scales, long, elegant fingers. And with that image comes a kind of growing dread. And then you dream as if spooling through a Rolodex of memories to try and find Doas. And you remember meeting with Dragonborn from Fortis Legion, and none of the faces are his, and then all the faces are his, and you can't place him. And then you remember a skeletal hand holding an amulet, your amulet. And then you remember someone pulling away as fire washes over them, engulfs their face. And you're running, and you're running, and you're running, and you don't know what for or what from. And you hear fire behind you. And you're running, and you wake.
You okay?
Bad dream.
You were talking in your sleep.
What did I say?
Incomprehensible. Is this possible if I say you were speaking Draconic?
You would recognize Draconic?
I think it was Draconic. I don't speak it.
I only speak a little.
I mean, I speak none, but it sounded pretty Draconic to me.
I was dreaming of a past I do not remember. And remembering a past I could not see. A bad dream.
Always here if you want to talk.
Hearing this conversation, I wakes up with a jolt and is panicked. And is like, and kind of just scoots a little bit under and kind of checks to make sure everyone is still there and fine. And just kind of pretends to carry on watching the door because I fell asleep last night staring at the door because Radian promised that I will watch the door. So I then literally just lay there and then and has woken up like this, like, oh shit, oh my god, a promise was made and I have not.
And with that start, the rest of you wait.
I feel really good today.
You're looking great, actually.
Like, Dolly has a little, like, not bulk is the wrong word, but Dolly looks kind of cut.
Have you been lifting weights?
You know, like just maybe more than usual. Heavier wine glasses, maybe.
We have been drinking a lot more recently.
Yeah. I don't know. Just maybe it's all a sea air. I don't know.
It's good for you.
It's feeling good.
And you head downstairs into the bar, and Doas is waiting for you with a pack and with what you recognise to be a short sword, very similar to that you. And he has his blue and gold trousers, his kind of wide trousers visible beneath his travelling cloak. And he nods as you come down the stairs. Well, back home. For us both, I suppose, in one sense.
I do not think of the Sanctum as home.
Once this is done, you don't have to think of it as home either.
I hope never to do so again.
You sure about this?
No. But it gives me the chance I need.
Gives us the chance we need too.
When we're together, we fight for each other. I know you're doing this for money, but I don't do this for money. I do this for them. We protect each other. And if you're one of us, we protect you.
Tribe.
Well, I'll be what assistance I can, thank you. Well, if we wish to reach Seascale by nightfall, we should get on the road. And the 6 of you head north, back onto the Salt Road, towards Seascale, and the Sanctum. And that's where we'll end our session. You got a travel companion, guys.
Wow.
That is episode 19 of Natural 6. Thank you so much for watching. We are now going to go and record our post-show thoughts, our action surge, which you could get now if you're a member of our Patreon. If not, you're going to have to wait a week. There's lots to discuss. Lovely ep. And we're going to unpack it all, like that nice game, Unpacking. That's a nice
I love
game.
that game.
I've watched people play it, but never played it. Like 90%
I don't even
of
know
the
what
game.
it is.
It's literally a game
It's
about
how it
unpacking.
sounds.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Tells you
lovely.
a very
Lovely story.
story.
Yeah.
Very much like this episode.
So if you wish to hear that, you can head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/natural6, and you can sign up, and then you will get it in your feed. You don't even have to do nothing, mate. You just get it. But if you want to wait a week, then we will see you in a week, and until then, stay well. And thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you very soon for more adventures in the world of Reliquiae. Bye, everybody!
Bye.